Still gotta be so high. Weed always on my mind. Now he always on my mind. Don't ya? Know you want some of this part. You ain't gotta say a word. Just walk that, let's get burned. Then we'll roll up 100 fucking nuts. All up in my mouth now. All up in yo. This nigga got pounds of it. All up in his truck. Now we both look Asian. He waving and I'm drunk. I got dank shit in my cup. You know what I'ma do to you? I could give reviews to you. Slow, we X and we sipping on that juice and juice. That's just what she choose to do. Chest when you put it on me, you relieve my stress. You got me so high, taking deep, deep breaths. You get me so high, you get me so high. I know you ain't a drug, but you get me so high. You get me so high, you get me so high. I know you ain't a drug, but you get me so high. You get me so high, you get me so high. I know you ain't a drug, but you get me so high. You get me so high, 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 you get me so high.
POV.
I can't tell where your hair ends and mine begins. If I had a boy's tattoos, I would think that it's your skin. If I move too quick, that's you, I would think it's my affection. In this cold season, close enough. You could tell every time we touch, every time we up. Wish you could feel me, you could pull me. One bedroom, right where your heart is. Each space feels broken hearted. Cross the battlefield, way too far in. I know when they see just someone, do they see us too? I just wanna melt into you. I'm melting to you. Just wanna melt into you. Melt into you. Melt into you. Imagine you ready for love and chase up and down. Hoping your last secret spit it out your mouth and inhale, exhale, breathe in. With every breath I'm sinking in. No way to describe it, I'm a riot. If I wake up and I'm somehow beside you, instead of beside you, this shouldn't surprise you. You don't even notice, don't need to remind you. Wish you could build me a cute apartment. One bedroom where your heart is. Each place feels broken hearted. Cross the bed feels way too far in. I wonder when they see just one, do they see us through? Where do you end? Where do I begin? Start over again. Feels like melting, melting. Where do you end? Where do I begin? Start over again. Feels like melting, melting.
Hey, Sunshine. There are times when I look above and beyond. There are times when I feel your love around me, baby. I'll never forget my baby. When I feel that I don't belong, draw my strength from the words when you said, hey, it's about you, baby. smiling back at me, dancing in moonlight. I know you are free, 'cause I can see your star shining down on me.
at 5 in the morning. I wake up to fight for my yearnings. Fear in my mind is a warning. Pray to the one you're relying. I've been wandering all day. I tried to be fine, but I can't be. The noise in my mind wouldn't leave me. I tried to get by, but I'm burning. I'm behind, my mind it runs. All these thoughts have troubled me. Fighting to give up my pain. Fighting to be on my lane. My mind running to the other side. When it's time to leave my life, then it tries to take me out. Tell you what I need. Why, yeah, I really need time now. I need to free mind now. I really need mine now. I need to free my mind now. I really need time now. I need to free mind now. I really need mine now. Yeah. This is the peace that you cannot buy. Send me in love that you cannot mix. One is the joy that you cannot waste, and the other one price that you cannot fix. This is the peace that you cannot buy. Finding a way where you cannot see. Man with this system, he cannot pray. I need to find relief. But behind my mind it runs. All these thoughts have troubled me. Fighting to give up my pain. Fighting to be on my lane. My mind running to the other side. When it's time to leave my life, then it tries to take me out. Tell you what I need. I really need my dog. I need to free my dog. I really need time now. I need to free my mind now. I really need time now. I need to free my dog. I really need time now. Oh, yeah. Just let me free, freer than the open mind, farther than the eyes can handle, freer than the ocean now. Yeah, yeah. So set me free. Now I need to find relief. Set me to the open sky. Now I need to free my mind. Yeah.
Drop top Porsche, rollie on my wrist, diamonds up and down my chain. Cardi B straight stunning, can't tell me that the
Good morning, y'all. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. We're about to get started. Make sure y'all double tap that screen on the way in to like the live stream. Thank you so much. Shout out to my moderators, y'all. Come on in. We're about to get started. Hey, Air Boogie. Good morning. Much love. Hey, Malika. Good morning, Miss Tanya. Good morning, Miss Carla. Let's see who else we got in the building. Oh, God. Hello. I'm live. Hey, Danielle. Hey, Diamond. Hey, Lady Marie. Bye, girl. You crazy ass. I am. What you must be on break? You on break? See, I know you did. I know you did. Hey, Stacy. Oh, okay. I got you. We will absolutely. Okay. All right. Look. All right. Love you too. Hey, Miss Lynn. Y'all come on in here. Hey, Lanier. Happy Tuesday, everybody. We're gonna get started, y'all, because it's a lot. I'm starting to feel like the content will never end. Today we're gonna talk about a little bit more about Nolan. Um, because even though I thought this stuff would die down, it has not. The thing with Nolan is probably gonna be a thing for a minute because there's so much stuff that's coming out and we still waiting on official. Not in my title is y'all noticed in my title, I said alleged, and make sure y'all keep that in mind when we talk about this alleged, uh, supposed, this autopsy findings or whatever. Because I'll get into that. I'll get into that. But we're gonna talk a little about Nolan. I am going to introduce. Hold on one second, y'all. Hold on one second. Okay, yeah, I'm going to introduce another case that's similar to Nolan's. The thing about this case, though, arrests have been made in this other case that we're going to be talking about. And then on top of that, there's a trial that's going on that I want to get into as well. So, and then y'all know this is already a busy week for me. Gonna be a busy weekend, but I'm listen. I'm gonna figure it out because that's what I do. So yeah, we got a lot to cover, y'all. So let's get into it. I wish I could have went live earlier, but I had some things to take care of before I actually came live. So we're gonna use our time wisely, right? With that being said, thank y'all so much for being here. I appreciate it. Shout out to my moderators. Shout out to my supporters. If you're new in the building and you're not subscribed, you enjoy the content, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. So you'll be notified whenever I go live. Make sure you double tap the screen to like the live stream. If it's the one that I just watched the press conferences about. All right, so um, let's get into the playlist. Of course, we start off the playlist with a couple of clips may be redundant, may be repetitive. If I see anything that's too repetitive, I skip through. But y'all know I don't actually have time to sit down and watch these clips. I go by titles. I may kind of red ball through it to see if it's what it's talking about, but I don't have time to like sit and watch all these clips in detail. So a lot of times I have to skip through things that I actually have in my playlist. But we're gonna see how this goes. But we also had 3 or 4 more that I know. I saw. I wish I can cover them all. One day I might. When everything dies down, I might do a live highlight because it's another case that I got to add that one in. It's another young lady that was found hung. I want to say Mississippi, but I'm not for sure. I have to go back in my playlist and see. But it's another young lady that they recently found. I think either she disappeared or they found her hung or something like that. But I have to go back in my playlist and see. Like I say, it's so much and so many. One day I might do a live just highlighting all the recent, uh, deaths that's taking place as far as our young black children. And I say young, I'm gonna say young black adults because that's what it mostly be, young black adults or whatever. So yeah. So I want to remind myself to go on my playlist and find that other case. What little girl at the church? I don't know anything about a little girl at the church. Where's me? All right, y'all. So let's get into these clips, okay? And like I say, of course, most of this stuff we probably not already heard because the news is much like us. We repeat the same stuff over and over again. But I just want to make sure we don't miss anything.
But we are heading into the weekend, and as always, every Friday at 6, our Walt Grayson has a story for us as he focuses on Mississippi.
All right, I got this me getting other clips for this recent case, right? As far as what the name of the island? What's the name of the island, y'all? My computer's acting stupid all of a sudden. What's the name of the island? Horn Island. So this video is old. Okay, y'all, listen, listen, listen. I am here. Can y'all hear me? Damn. Now it's updated. Can y'all hear me? I thought it was gonna come right back up. Now it's updated. Can y'all hear me? Put a one in the chat if y'all can hear me. Okay, thank you, Stacey. So my computer shut down. I'm thinking it was running slow, so I knew something was going on. But when I brought it back up, it started updating. So y'all give me a second. I appreciate y'all waiting. As soon as it stopped updating, cause see, I can't show the. I can't. I'm on my phone right now, and I can't show the. I can't show the clips on my phone. I have to be on my computer, and it's updated. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for waiting so patiently. I appreciate it. Let me see what it's gonna do. Hopefully, it don't take 30 minutes. Oh, it's Octavia. I didn't see Octavia. Welcome, Octavia. You can hear me, Tanya. Okay. I'm trying to see what it's gonna do, y'all. It's good. I think I used to had an Octavia in my chat a long time ago. I don't know if that's you, but if I can remember. I don't know why my computer do me like this. I be on it all morning before I come live. And then when I come live, it just start
Bluetooth pairing.
Let's see what's gonna do, y'all. Still says update, Lord.
Bluetooth connected.
There it go. I knew it was finna do something because he was acting stupid. Oh, let me go ahead and explain that first clip I was finna show y'all. That first clip, I think it is. I think if I remember, I'm gonna look at it though. I think it's like 3 weeks, not 3 weeks, 3 years old. And the reason why I wanted to play it is because it talks about Horn Island. Now I don't know what it says about Horn Island. All I know is it's a short clip talking about Horn Island. And I say, let me look at this and see what this is about. Since we got people talking about the waters, them bitches got a mind up. Girl, yes, Tanya, I love technology. It's the same way I feel about social media. Like, we got a love-hate relationship because I do social media, but I do think sometimes social media can be the devil. It's like that with technology for me. Honestly, it is. It's just like that. Like, it could be a blessing and a curse all in one, and that's crazy work. I really, technology gets on my nerves sometimes. For real. Okay, I gotta come out of this one because I'm back on my back on my back on my back on my back on my. Okay, y'all. Let me bring. Oh, I gotta bring my damn playlist back up. Well, at least it ain't running stupid. All right, we back, y'all. I should have played y'all some elevator music as long as this took, but that's okay. We back now. I should have played the elevator music, y'all, but that's okay. All right, let me pull my chat up. And I thank y'all so much for waiting. Okay, so this clip right here, y'all, let me see. I gotta look and see how old it is. I want to tell y'all how old it is because I came across it while getting other clips from this case. Let me tell y'all how old it is. It is 5 years old. And the only thing I want y'all to get out of this clip, it talks about Horn Island. And yeah, we cooking with your ass. It talks about Horn Islands, and it's only 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Like I wanted to hear what it has to say about Horn Island, being as though it's the center of this case.
But we are heading into the weekend, and as always, every Friday at 6, our Walt Grayson has a story for us as he focuses on Mississippi.
Now, we're traveling about as far south as you can go in Mississippi and still be on dry land. And Walt, I am assuming we're going beyond Gulfport and Biloxi.
Yes, that's exactly right. We're going to the land where Gulf Coast artist Walter Anderson found so much inspiration. How about let's take a trip out to Horn Island? Horn Island is a part of the Gulf Islands National Seashore, so it, along with several other barrier islands, are a national park. It's also a national wilderness area. There's nothing man-made on Horn Island except a ranger cabin somewhere near the middle, and there's not always a ranger there. Anything else you might need, you have to bring it with you. And, of course, take it back when you leave. Horn Island is several miles long, but less than a mile wide at its widest point. And to the north is Mississippi Sound. The water and the beaches there look about like they do on the Gulf Coast. But to the south is the Gulf of Mexico, and the water and beaches there look more like what you're used to in Florida, sugar white sand and turquoise water. Well, it's like that on a sunny day. Now, when a storm is brewing, the sea turns leaden gray, the waves are angry, and it's a powerful place just to stand and watch. There's a symmetry to a lot of nature on Horn Island, so I can see where Walter Anderson gets the idea for the repeated rhythms and patterns that we see in so much of his work. And the pine trees on Horn really do look like the ones Anderson renders in his watercolors. I thought they were caricatures until I saw the real pines, but that's what they look like. Sort of like spindly pines of Rome in Italy. Artists still come out of Horn Island for inspiration, alone sometimes, as members of groups a lot. They may stay overnight or a week or more. The day breaks silently with a whisper on the breeze and uncertainty in the air. It may be gray or it may be sunny, but each kind of weather brings out its own personality and traits on the island. At nighttime, you make of it what you want. Luau, ritual dance around the fire, an unveiling of the day's artistic work. Even firing pottery at night takes on a special flavor on Horn Island. Now, I'll admit, I'm not that much of an outdoorsman. I mean, my idea of roughing it's when the air conditioner in the hotel room keeps waking me up when it cycles on and off. But if I were an artist, especially one who specialized in capturing nature and realizing it in my work, I'd be on Horn Island tonight. Well, you can go to Horn Island, Google it, or the Gulf Islands National Seashore, get more information about going out to Horn Island. But it really is just you and nature and whatever you brought in your backpack when you go out there.
Okay, that was interesting. I guess that's a little bit about Horn Island, y'all. So now we're going to the next clip, okay? Let's listen.
What was supposed to be a boat party with friends celebrating the 4th of July has turned into a mystery, making national headlines.
Now to the urgent search for answers in the death of Nolan Wells.
This is a horrifying story because our hearts go out to the family of 18-year-old Nolan Wells.
The body of 18-year-old college football player Nolan Wells found off the coast of Mississippi early Monday morning.
We want that same respect that would be given to anybody else, and that's it. We just want answers.
Wells went missing on the afternoon of the holiday. His friends all came back alive. Wells did not. His body was discovered 2 days later. Authorities initially telling ABC News they suspected no foul play.
At this point, there's no information that would lead us to believe that a crime had been committed. Now, that's why we're still asking for information if anybody has any knowledge.
But Wells's parents, Christine and Elmore Wansley, want answers, speaking publicly for the first time to our Michael Strahan, addressing the questions and controversy swirling around his death.
We are doing this because at the end of the day, I would hope any parent would fight for their kids to find out if anything happened, what did happen. We want a thorough investigation.
Investigators are now combing over video taken on Horn Island around the time Wells was last seen alive, including this clip from social media that has gone viral, the contents of which are unclear.
I don't know the origins of that video at this point, but yes, we are looking into it. That's been brought to our attention.
The mystery behind Nolan Wells' disappearance and death only grows as you dive deep and deeper into this story.
Wells was a standout high school football player, going on to be a wide receiver at a community college, speaking to our Biloxi, Mississippi affiliate on the day he signed.
It's truly a blessing, you know, just being here with like some of my best friends, teammates, and we're all going to college together, most of us. So it's just truly a blessing to be here.
Nolan was such a great person. He was just a happy young man and made everybody smile and just made your day brighter.
He was liked by all. It was not a friend he couldn't make.
Wells's mother says he went on a day trip with friends to Horn Island for the holiday. It's an undeveloped barrier island about 8 miles off the coast of Mississippi that can only be reached by private boat. The group left from Ocean Springs less than 30 minutes away from the island. Authorities say he was last seen near the northwest end of Horn Island around 3 p.m.
When the initial boat went to leave back, whoever was the boat operator, they left and went back without Nolan. From what we understand, he chose to stay there.
Why would he stay behind?
That we cannot answer. I can't fathom why he would.
We always taught him to, if you go with a group, you stay with a group.
That night, one of Wells's friends and his mother separately reported him missing. By Sunday, an all-out search was underway for Wells, but it wasn't until just before 9 a.m. on Monday a body was discovered by a U.S. Park Service ranger. It was Wells. That evening, investigators initially told ABC News that they suspected Wells had drowned, something his parents say was unlikely because they say Wells was a good swimmer. Nolan's parents quickly reached out to civil rights attorney Ben Crump and will be conducting an independent autopsy and investigation.
It is because the family has distrust of the Mississippi law enforcement officials giving them a fair investigation where their black son ended up dead after going out on a boat with 3 young white men. The history of Mississippi is something that they don't just read about in books, but it's a lived experience for many Black Americans.
Wells's mother recovered her son's phone from a friend who said the kids commonly leave their phones on the boat to avoid losing or damaging them in the water. Wells's parents say they are worried messages or data may have been deleted.
We went in his Snapchat. There was absolutely nothing, no saved videos. And even my sister was like, yeah, that's suspicious.
At this time, we do not have the cell phone that they speak of, but it is, to my understanding, that we requested the cell phone for an extraction.
After our experts be able to examine the phone, we will let the Mississippi investigators examine the phone.
When you put all of those facts together, it only raises more red flags, more suspicion that something happened here that we don't know the full answers to. The only question is that something criminal or completely accidental?
The mysterious circumstances surrounding Nolan's disappearance and death sparking outrage on social media.
Because one thing I know a teenager is not doing is staying somewhere without a phone.
The case became a racial flashpoint.
They left from Mississippi to Horn Island, and his 3 white friends are the only ones that returned to the mainland.
Because if I'm taking a friend out, especially if my friend is a person of color, their safety is not my responsibility. Oh my God, why are we making this about race? Because it is.
Ashley Cole, a Mississippi judge and the mother of one of Nolan's friends on the boat, took to Facebook to dispel some rumors with facts, writing, "Our son Warren loved Nolan dearly." Cole had deactivated her account as her son and other friends faced scrutiny after Wells's death. She wrote, "No one in our family is trying in any way to impede with the investigation by law enforcement," adding, "Warren was interviewed by the Jackson County Sheriff's Department and cooperated fully." Cole said her son left Wells because the boat was taking on water and had a mechanical issue. Nolan, she said, made a decision to stay on the island and return inland later with another group of friends.
He knew to stay with his group. So why would he split from his group? I don't know.
Investigators are asking anyone who may have seen Wells or has any photographs or videos from that day on Horn Island to come forward.
At this point, our main objective and our priority is to produce an accurate and professional and very thorough investigation into the death of Nolan. for the sake of his family and for the sake of the community.
The state medical examiner performed an autopsy on Wells's body Tuesday. Officials say it could take a couple of weeks for results to come back. Wells's family say they hope to have answers sooner than that.
We just want to know. We just want to know what happened and why our baby didn't come home.
And of course, we'll continue to follow the story as it unfolds.
I just know I've lost my best friend.
This morning, a friend of Nolan Wells, who was with the 18-year-old the day he was...
These are all recap videos, y'all. It's just a little bit more information in each one. Okay, and they short. Let me see. This is the third one, I think. Yeah, they're all short, pretty short.
last seen alive is sharing what he says happened during a July 4th boat trip to an isolated barrier island off the Mississippi Gulf Coast. Trayston Shepard declined to speak with us on camera because he says he and his friends are getting threats.
We did no wrong here, and we don't understand how we're getting so much hate behind it. We all cared and loved Nolan, and nobody wanted to see Nolan die. Nobody wanted to see his life be taken so short.
Shepard addressed this viral video that investigators have been studying. Wells's parents worried it showed their son involved in a confrontation, but Shepard said that's him, not Wells.
That's the video I'm referring to. That's me yelling.
Shepard says he took a boat back from Horn Island in the late afternoon, but Wells stayed behind with a girl he had met.
They met that day, and it was kind of one of those things. It did come off that day that he really did like her, but that was the only time they've ever hung out was at Horn Island on July 4th.
Investigators believe Wells drowned and say there were no immediate signs of foul play. But there is growing frustration in the community, and his parents are skeptical, telling GMA Wells left his phone behind and they tracked it to one of his friends.
It was showing everywhere the phone had been. I was like, well, it's showing that he's back on land.
The sheriff said the parents have not turned over the phone to investigators. Their lawyers said they will. While the investigation goes on, Trayston Shepard wants the focus on his friend.
I want everybody just to relax and let everybody mourn the loss of Nolan, and let us remember him as in like the sweet guy. I think everybody needs to let the investigation continue and let the facts be shown.
Shepard told us he has spoken to the police, and the sheriff's department said both he and other friends of Wells have been cooperative. Aaron Katursky, ABC News, Ocean Springs, Mississippi.
A community in mourning and demanding answers.
And we just want to know what happened to Nolan.
After the mysterious death of Mississippi teenager Nolan Wells following a boat trip with friends to Horn Island on the 4th of July. His mother contacted authorities late that night when he didn't come home.
Needs to report her 18-year-old son, Nolan Wells, missing last seen at 3 on Horn Island.
Christine Wells-Wansley told us she got a call Saturday night from one of the friends Nolan went to the island with.
What did he say? He said, "Hey, Miss Christine, have you seen Nolan or talked to Nolan?" I said, "No, I thought he was with you guys, you know." He's like, "No, nobody's talked to him."
Early the next morning, Nolan's father, Elmore, says his son's high school football coach took him out on a boat to search.
That out the boat walked the island and then got back on the boat and went around the island.
Did you see anything? Nothing.
The Coast Guard and United Cajun Navy searching simultaneously, but it was a day later when Nolan's body was recovered.
There's basically a black hole between about 4:30 on the 4th of July in the afternoon until when Nolan was found.
Authorities have not released a cause of death.
Do you think there's a possibility that your son drowned accidentally? Honestly, because of the way the stories are just so inconsistent and how that day went, it's just, we can't say for sure.
His grieving parents believe race may have been a factor in his death.
I don't want to believe it is, but unfortunately, there's evidence to show that things like this happen. He just had a big heart. To really know Nolan, to have him as your friend it was something special. Do you worry that he might have trusted too much? Sometimes, yeah. And that was something we always talked to him about.
So now to the latest on the mysterious death of Nolan Wells. Hearing from a friend of the 18-year-old who was with him on the day that he died. Because
let me fix that. You said so she got a call late Saturday night and Dad went out the next morning and his body was found. Yeah. That's what I was trying to explain yesterday. She got a call late Saturday night, which was the 4th of July. The dad went out there to the island Sunday morning, early Sunday morning. He said they was out there for, I think he said an hour or so or whatever. They were searching the little land. They searched the water with the boat as much as they could. And then Monday, officials went back out there, and that's when they found him on Monday. So that's the timeline on that. Hey, Melissa. I think I missed you coming in, girl.
Did no wrong here, and we don't understand how we're getting so much hate behind it. We all cared and loved Nolan, and nobody wanted to see Nolan die. Nobody wanted to see his life be taken so short.
All right, Kajachi, and also legal analyst and attorney Brian Buckmeyer join me now for more. So, Ike, what more we learned?
Baby Candy.
About why Wells stayed behind and didn't go back to the mainland with his friends.
This question, Nolan will stay behind when I'm sorry that his hood said that the boat that they could that.
Wait a minute, now it's an electrical issue. Electrical in a boat taking in water is not the same thing. Now, see, this is crazy. This is crazy. So now is an electrical issue. I thought the boat was. Okay, this is why I play these clips, y'all. I be wanting y'all to hear hear for yourself the contradictions. They don't have to get their ass out of here. Don't ask nobody. At this point, ain't no leeway with nobody because at this point they come in here and they know what they be doing. Hey, Robin, just get their ass out.
And he says Nolan told the group he wanted to stay behind because he met a girl and planned to catch a ride back on another friend's boat. Now, Shepard described this trip as one.
That's what I'm saying. What the boat taking on water is not the same as electrical. Which one is it? See, that's what I'm saying. The truth do not change. It's all these different stories. It's all these different accounts. It's all these different narrations. Like, what is it?
One last hurrah before everyone scattered back to school and work after this holiday. There were about 300 people on that island that day. A lot of them were high school class.
Trayston also addressed the viral video. Investigators, I've been looking into, saying he's actually the one yelling, not Wells. How crucial is that?
Here, I think it's very crucial in the sense of now we know who's yelling, why they were yelling, and according to Trayston, it had nothing to do with what Nolan Wells was doing. Instead, giving us a description that a stranger was kind of getting in his face and he was yelling at him. This closed down one avenue of investigation. And while that might be heartbreaking that it doesn't give us an answer, eliminating possibilities as to what happened will hopefully steer us in the right direction, finding the right reason as to why everything happened. And then going back to something that Ike said, I hope that with Trayston saying Wells was there talking to a girl, that we can get a description of that girl, what she was wearing, who she might be, and follow up on more questions.
So then, Brian, at this point of the investigation, it's the autopsy that I know we're all waiting to hear about, because that will definitely help us try to figure out what exactly happened.
In terms of being a homicide, an accident, I don't believe it's going to be a natural death, but that determination is going to be important. But then also, of course, the cause.
I might need to restart my.
To the ultimate question and answer of what happened to Nolan Wells and how they died.
All right, Ike, Brian, thank you both.
So we start this hour with new developments in the death of 18-year-old Nolan Wells. So a new photo has surfaced that could help investigators piece together Nolan's final hours. So Attorney Bancroft, he posted the image over the weekend to his Instagram account, saying it appears to show Nolan at a pool party somewhere between 1 a.m. and 2:30 a.m. on July 5th. Now, if that timeline is accurate, it would mean Nolan made it off of Horn Island after he was last seen there. But the photo doesn't explain what happens next, and investigators still haven't released any new information about how Nolan died. Envy, you said you saw this photo, yes, of him in the pool.
Yeah, the photo looks kind of strange, but to me, everything looks strange, right? So in the photo, you see, it looks like maybe 10, 15 kids in the pool, guys and girls.
Yeah.
He's the only black kid. You see a guy with his arm around him, and he's kind of like looking like he doesn't look okay to me.
Yeah.
It looks something looks off in that picture.
Photos, videos from that weekend to come forward. They say there are still too many unanswered questions surrounding her son's death. Let's listen to his mother, Christine.
I would hope that you would ask for any help, receive any help to get answers, because at the end of the day, that's all we want. We just want to know. We just want to know what happened and why our baby didn't come home. He loved life, and God gave him this big heart, which always scared us. Me and his dad had conversations with him all the time, not just about the importance of understanding our history as Black people, but also the importance of how you have to move in certain spaces. And it's not being feeding.
He drank. Nobody's just going to jump in a lake by themselves and nobody sees nothing, right?
Yeah.
Going to jump off a boat or jump off of anything by himself in a lake with nobody around by himself and nobody sees nothing.
Yeah,
That's the strange part.
Yeah, especially on a crowded 4th of July celebration, right? I mean, somebody somewhere would have to
see something. Yeah, it's just weird. Even how the phone turned up, but they got his phone, but he never came back. The girl that he went to go see, you know what I mean?
So many conflicting reports. Now, the family is also awaiting the results of an independent autopsy, which is being funded by Colin Kaepernick, the attorney Crump. He made that announcement on Friday, and he also announced that Tyler Perry has stepped in to cover Nolan's funeral expenses after reaching out to the family. And Byron Allen. Byron Allen also donated to his GoFundMe, and Little Rel, the comedian, he also donated money. And shout out to Little Rel. I sat next to him yesterday in church. And so, I just think a lot of people are stepping up and helping the family. And then meanwhile, the Jackson County Sheriff's Office, they say they still have no evidence of foul play and they are continuing to investigate. But the sheriff says that he welcomes any new information, any information that this independent autopsy could find. And they just want to work together to figure out what happened to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
Absolutely.
what they say.
Still sitting, hailing help. Thank you.
Hold on. Every day I wake up, wake your ass up. The Breakfast Club.
All right, let's move on, y'all. Now, this little short right here, the title got me. I haven't actually listened to the short, but the title kind of got me. He says the picture. Now, this is Pascal. I watch him, not always react to him because I just don't. He do lives a lot, but it's cutting off Jennifer. Okay, let me do something right quick. I didn't know if it was cutting off on y'all end or not, but give me just a second and I'm gonna fix that for y'all. Okay, hold on 1 minute. I'll be right back. Thank you. Thank you, Natasha. Yeah, I'm gonna fix it, y'all. Give me a second. Let me do this right quick. I'm gonna go do something right quick. I'll be right back. Okay, yeah. Hopefully, I fixed it. I don't know. I don't know. But shout out to everybody that's still here. It's really sad. Welcome to the family, Jennifer. Thank you so much for subscribing. Okay, y'all. Let's try to get back into it. Now, like I was saying, this next clip is this guy. His channel is let me make sure I say it correctly. I know Pascal. Hold on. The Pascal show. It's the Pascal show. And he's talking about this photo. And this is short, so it's not that long. But I did want to listen to it and see what he had to say about that photo. Okay. Let's see.
This photo is not AI slot. It Nolan well in this photo, but it's not from the morning hours of July 5th. After they reported him missing. New up. In Wells' case, first off, this photo is not AI slot. hours of July 5th, after they reported him missing. So we got some updates, shocking new updates in the Nolan Wells case. This photo is not AI slop. It is Nolan Wells in this photo, but it's not from the early morning hours of July 5th, after they reported him missing. So we got some updates here in the video that's been gone viral and everything. He's the one who stepped up and said he was the one in that altercation. He's the one who was screaming and yelling. It is not Nolan screaming and yelling in that video. That is some very, very interesting stuff. But he also came forward and said that this photo is not from July 4th. It is from June 27th. It was a big pool party. That everybody
Thank y'all for your patience. I don't know. We got storms. I don't know if that's it got to be the reason why my shit is tripping, because I've done everything I can to my computer. I think it's just the internet. It's so dark. Look like it's about 6 or 7 o'clock out there. But anyway, y'all, let me say this, and hopefully this thing will start playing. But this little short right here, I've been listening to it as much as I could. So basically, this Tristan guy, he's the only, and I wonder, I'm kind of curious at this point as to why he keep coming. Yeah, it's bad. It looks like it's about, I'm looking at my camera. It's so dark out there. But Tanya, listen, this kid Tristan, is it Tristan? He's the only, and he's talking a lot. Let me take that down so at least I can talk. I'm gonna take that down so at least it'll let me talk. But listen, let's talk about this friend Tristan. What y'all think about him? Because okay, so it's kind of weird to me. It'd be one thing if everybody was quiet, right? Everybody was just silent, wasn't saying anything. But he's the only one talking. He's the only one talking, and what he's doing basically, unless, and I'm not saying he's lying. I'm definitely not saying he's lying, but this is what I'm saying. He's debunking everything that everybody thinks of what's going on. Like he debunked that it was everything is him, right? So he debunked the argument. He said the argument that took place that everybody thought was Nolan was him. The photograph. He says the photograph is not from that night, July 4th night. He's saying it's from June 27th, but he's also saying he wasn't there. Now, I'm not sure if Pascal is saying he posted the photo. My question is this: if you wasn't there, I don't know if he posted it or not, but he's saying that the dude is saying that it's from June 27th. My thing is this: how do you know? Like, if you wasn't there, unless somebody told you to say it was from June 27th, unless one of the people that was there June 27th said it was from June 27th, how do you know? How do you know when the photo was taken? Because I think this guy is saying that Tristan wasn't even at the party. It's just, to me, honestly, it's kind of weird that he's the only one that's talking. I mean, and very vocal. I mean, he all on the Good Morning America and shit of that nature. Like, but he's the only one. He's the only one. And he's basically coming out here is like he's, I don't know, y'all. Now, I told y'all yesterday, and I think it was Malika that said something about the mama, right? Well, I got a video, and listen, y'all, this stuff is getting so bad. Y'all know how I get. I get real anxious when so much shit start coming out, so many theories and narrations are put out, and we don't know the truth, right? I got a video of a content creator that's saying some things about the mom. If I can get my shit to play. Now, let me try to pull this back up. It's like, Lord Jesus, I want to end this live so bad, but I can't miss a day. I got to stay on track because I got so much to cover. And it's like, please, Lord, just give it to me. Give it to me. I think it's the weather. Nothing about the weather. All I can do is pray about it. Now, I can do all I can to this damn computer. Can't do too much to eat, but see, it's just not doing right. But it's something fishy going on, y'all. And I hate to just, yeah, was it you too, Danielle? That mom, the judge is all the way up in the mix. No, I'm not talking about the judge. I'm talking about Nolan's mother. I'm not talking about the judge, Tanya. Let's see if this will play.
This photo is not AI slop. It is Nolan Wells in this photo, but it's not from the early morning hours of July 5th, after they reported him missing. So we got some updates, shocking new updates in the Nolan Wells case. First off, this photo is not AI slop.
Oh, so yeah, that was you, Danielle. That was you, not Malika. Okay, yeah, because yesterday you said something and I said yes. I said that. I remember I said that, yeah. I agree, but I digress. Yeah. I did. Because every time it won't let me talk, I'm gonna just drop the motherfucker. I don't even care. But listen, I did say that because listen, I don't claim to, it's a true fact, right? That everybody agrees differently, right? Everybody agrees, and it's a different kind of grief when you have to. It's a different kind of grief and a different kind of like whole kind of like persona you take on when you're grieving, but you also have to fight, right? You also have to fight. Not only are you grieving, you have to fight. And in this case, I feel like, oh, y'all hear that rain? I don't know if y'all can hear it or not. But listen, it's a different type of thing when you grieving and you also have to fight, right? So right now, Nolan's mom and dad are fighting, right? They're fighting for answers. They're fighting for justice or whatever. They're fighting to know what happened to their son. And that's like, to me, a whole different type of grief. You know what I'm saying? It's about to come my way. Girl, I don't know if you hear it or not, but it's coming down. And I'm going to try to stick it out. Because this type of weather, I'm going to tell you something. With this computer acting up, I will shut this bitch down. And I will go either sit outside and drink coffee, or I will go get in the bed. One or two things. I ain't finna fight it. Yeah, Tanya. So when you grieving and you also fighting, right? I guess it's a different type of grief and it's a different type of fight. I agree they're grieving in their own way, but one thing I do know about grief, because Lanier, I don't know if you know it or not. I've been in Nolan's mama's shoes, right? I've been in her shoes, and I had that fight mentality too as well. My fight was not knowing. To be honest, my fight was not knowing what happened or who did it. and I didn't even have to wait long. The person that did it to my son, he literally got caught a day or so later. But the night that it happened, the police knew who did it, right? So we knew who did it, and it was like a day or so later that he was caught. He was caught in another. He had crossed state lines and had entered into another state or whatever. But I didn't have going on with me what a lot of parents have going on, and that is not knowing who did it, not knowing what happened, and the person that did it not being caught. A lot of parents, I got a friend now, she's lost both of her sons, 2 or 3 years ago, and she just recently lost one, and they don't know who did it in each one of their cases. Like, she still don't know, who. Well, I think they know what this last one who did it. I think. I don't know if the person got caught yet or not. But so my grief wasn't compounded with not knowing and the person still being out there and this and the third. Thank God I didn't have to deal with that. I'm gonna just say this in a nutshell. I get it. You take on a whole armor when you're fighting for your child, even while grieving. I'm gonna just say I don't understand, or I can't comprehend how that mama and that daddy is able. And I said the same thing about the what them people like the Metcalfs. I'm not gonna not say it because this is another set of parents and they're black, because it's not about black or white for me. It's about, what's obvious and what's the truth and what's not. I don't understand how these people, these parents, are able to get up. And I mean, finding out your child dead the same day you find out your child has passed away, you doing press conferences, you're doing interviews, you and it's like you able to laugh. And I couldn't imagine, I was damn near dead. I posted a status on my Facebook the entire time I was going through that, and the status read, "I can't breathe," because I felt like I was dying. I felt like I couldn't breathe. I felt like I couldn't catch my breath, much less talk. Much less be traveling to do interviews. These people were in New York. They from Mississippi. Their son is in Washington, allegedly getting an independent autopsy, and they're in New York. Why were they in New York with Crump and them? I'm just saying, I gotta be real. I gotta be honest. That stuff comes off as weird to me, and I said it when the Metcalfs was doing it, and I gotta say it here. The shit is weird. Even Carmelo's parents, they did that one interview. Now, I don't even think it's an interview. I think they did that press conference. Did they do an interview? They could have did one. They could have did one. I don't remember. I know they did the press conference. But they went out here on a whole goddamn promotional tour. I'm just saying, amazing. And God knows, I know you know. Like, the shit is weird. How are you able to do this? Like, I know all about being strong and this and the other. Don't get it twisted. I'm a strong woman. But baby, let me tell you something. There was no way on God's green earth the night I found out, or the next day, or the next day, or the next day, after I found out my son was gone, that I was able to do that. I wouldn't be able to do that. I was not able. My daughters and my mama and my sister and my circle had to literally it's like, I don't get it. Like, I'm sorry, y'all. I can't put it into words what I'm trying to say. All I'm gonna say is I don't understand. This shit is weird. But that's okay. We're gonna listen to that video, and I normally don't I normally don't entertain certain stuff, but I got to let y'all listen to this video. I think I would be remiss and I can't let y'all not hear this video, because if something ends up coming out and I knew about this video and didn't at least let y'all hear it and judge it for yourselves, I would feel bad, because y'all would be like, damn, and then I'd be like, well, y'all, I knew something was up because of such and such, and then y'all be looking at me like, especially Melissa, Truth, well, what the hell happened? Why you ain't play the video? And da 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 da. So I'm gonna play the damn video, but it's coming up, y'all. God is the thing about death is 9 times out of 10 is always an insurance policy involved, because people get insurance these days. Now the people, well, most people, well, shit, most people. Oh, but the content creator that we're gonna listen to, she tends to think that it's a money grab. But I'm gonna let y'all hear it for yourself. I can't even get past this damn short. So I don't even know how I'm gonna play the damn video, but let's try.
Yelling. The same kid whose voice we hear in the video that's been gone viral and everything, he's the one who stepped up and said he was the one in that altercation. He's the one who was screaming and yelling. It is not Nolan screaming and yelling in that video. That is some very, very interesting stuff. But he also came forward and said that this photo is not from July 4th. It is from June 27th. It was a big pool party that everybody was really hype about, getting ready to go and be a part of. Shepard apparently did not go because he worked a double, or he had to work all day and he was really tired. So he ended up not going to this pool party, but he recognized everybody. Here's the other thing. Another kid sent metadata to the Rolling Stone. Okay. They provided, a separate person provided Rolling Stone with metadata from the actual pool party photo, as well as group photos that were taken that very night. So they were able to connect the dots and say, okay, these photos were for real from June 27th and not July 5th in the very early morning hours. So again, that would destroy any speculations of possibly the kids doing something bad to the kid, bad to Nolan, and then dropping his body off up there.
No, Pascal, that's why I don't react to you often, because you one of them ones. Now it don't say that they did that debunking that photo and saying that photo is not from that night does not debunk them doing something to Nolan. That's not true. That is not true. It debunks that there was a pool party that Nolan was at afterwards. That's what that. It does not debunk that the boys didn't do anything to Nolan. That photo does not debunk that. That's not true. If the photo was not from that night, it was not from that night. It only attributes to the fact that Nolan was not at a pool party when allegedly he was left on the island. That's it. It doesn't debunk that the boys did or did not do anything to him. I cannot.
Morning hours. So again, that would destroy visions of possibly the kids doing something bad to the kid, bad to Nolan, and then dropping his body off up there on Horn Island. He also goes on to say that he knows Wells and the other friends went to the party and identified all of them in the photo. He also says, Shepard also says, a friend of his posted a photo as part of a photo dump of recent events, but then immediately deleted it once these social media rumors were starting to get crazy around Wells' demise. So he put it up, didn't realize that it was a photo of Nolan, and everybody started to speculate, and he freaked out, deleted it, and then put his account on private. Now, I understand speculations are still going to be swirling like crazy, but here is that update. This photo is real, but it's just not a photo from July 4th or July 5th early in the morning. So that speculation of there possibly being foul play by the timeline, by this photo alone, has been debunked.
Move on. Okay, so what's next? I'm tired of listening to that friend at this point. Yeah, I'm gonna skip all of that. Let's go to the sheriff.
Been a week since Nolan Wells' body was found. Been a week since Nolan Wells' body was found on Horn Island. As the country sits and waits for the investigations to conclude, many questions are still left to be answered. Today I spoke with Jackson County Sheriff John Ledbetter on where the investigation stands. Speculation continues as to what happened to 18-year-old Nolan Wells over Independence Day weekend. Jackson County Sheriff John Alledged.
How does that matter to me, Danielle, though? You say if I blow what picture up? Which picture? What's USA on his chest got to do with it? I mean, what that mean, Danielle? You trying to tell me something? I really don't care for his channel. That's just my. Well, I be trying to watch him, but he kind of sort of remind me of a. I don't want to say Uncle Tom. I just want to say he reminds me of some of those black men, you know, on this platform that don't resonate with being black. That's all I'm gonna say. But he, you know, I be trying to watch. I be trying to support all these true crime people, to be honest. But you know, some of them I just can't do. Some of them I just can't. Now him, I can dip in and out, but I can't do him too tough like that. But I just want y'all to hear that you know, because I do believe what he's saying about the photo not being from that night. You know, Melissa. The man on the pool, to me, someone would do something like that for the 4th of July. Oh, you saying it could be that night? It could be the night of the 4th. Yeah, because he's saying it was June 27th. I get what you're saying now, Danielle. But girl, listen, it's just at this point, this case has got me exhausted. Like I'm doing actual work on it. I'm just reacting. So now y'all mentioning Kanika Jenkins and Shanquilla. I don't see no resonation between none of these cases. Shanquilla, well, actually Shanquilla, yeah. I can see her even with Kanika at this point. You know, you're right. It all involves a group of friends. And one of the friends passing away. So I get what y'all saying. All three cases involves a group of friends partying or vacationing, and one of the friends ended up passing away. So I get the correlation. I get it.
Better met with WLOX to give what updates he could. However, considering
this investigation is active, it's ongoing,
he wasn't able to confirm much. Ledbetter did confirm that interviews have been conducted with witnesses, and the department has been in contact with other departments and agencies.
It's trying to play, y'all. Like I said before, you have to find the person who took that picture and find the time stamp. But I seen a 20-hour ago load up at the bottom left of the corner. I can't.
During
this investigation is active, it's ongoing,
he wasn't able to confirm much. Ledbetter did confirm that interviews have been conducted with witnesses, and the department has been in contact with other departments and agencies, including the FBI. The investigation has benefited from information brought by the community.
This recent week, we've got a lot of valuable information that has come from the public. We put out a call to action last week for that information, and it has been very productive for us.
Many are preparing for the return of Wells' autopsy. However, toxicology testing is conducted by outside laboratories, and the analysis and review process can take several weeks. A spokesperson for the Mississippi Department of Public Safety states every case is unique and deserves a thorough review. Therefore, cases cannot all be handled the same way or in the same timeline. While theories circle social media, those who are close to Nolan are still waiting for closure. As one friend spoke in an ABC interview,
I think everybody needs to let the investigation continue and let the facts be shown. And if the fact shows that somebody harmed Nolan, I hope that there is justice brought. And if it was a tragic accident and somebody didn't speak up, I still hope justice is brought. The facts is the only thing that's going to overturn that. So that's what I'm just waiting patiently.
Continue as per the Independent Coast Coliseum, though nothing's set in stone yet.
Yep, our Will Polston joining us now live in Biloxi with the latest details on this case. Good morning to you, Will.
Hey, good morning, Brandy and Bill. Good morning, everybody joining us as well here on Good Morning Mississippi. That's right, we're here at the Coast Coliseum, where we now know that the funeral services for Nolan Wells will be held on Monday, July 20th. That is a week from yesterday. Now, we're still waiting for the official details to get ironed out. We spoke with the executive director here of the Coliseum yesterday, and he said that a formal announcement will come as those details start to get ironed out, working with the family to figure out exactly what time visitations and services and everything will be. That being said, on the investigative side of things, the investigation is still ongoing, of course, still active, and still waiting for a lot of answers that we were expecting to hopefully have last week, but we're still hanging on looking for answers, those being the autopsy results. We were expected to have those, the independent autopsy being done by attorney Ben Crump and his team. We were expected to have that Friday, but during their press conference announcing that there were canceled flights that led to this being pushed back, we're still unsure of when that'll come out. And then we're still waiting on the state's medical examiner's autopsy as well. We're waiting on the toxicology report before all of those answers come back up to the forefront. So what exactly happened to Nolan Wells? Waiting on the state's medical examiner's autopsy as well. We're waiting on the toxicology report before all of those answers come back up to the forefront. So it is a waiting game whenever it comes to new information. But if you have any new information, the best thing you can do is reach out to the Jackson County Sheriff's Department for any firsthand accounts, pictures, or unedited videos that could help pinpoint what exactly happened to Nolan Wells on Horn Island. Live from Biloxi, Will Polston, WLOX News Now.
All right, y'all, we're moving on. Let's see.
Family members are pressing for answers in the death of 18-year-old Nolan Wells in Mississippi. Wells disappeared during a 4th of July boat trip with a group of high school friends to an island off the Gulf Coast. Wells, who was black, was the only member of the group who did not return to the mainland. His body was found in the water days later. The friends he was traveling with are white. Authorities say there are no signs of foul play and that Wells drowned, though the investigation remains ongoing. His family is seeking an independent autopsy and calling for a full and transparent investigation into the circumstances surrounding his death.
I would hope that any parent who, God forbid, would be in our situation, I would hope that you would do the same thing. I would hope that you would ask for any help. Receive any help to get answers.
We're joined now by the family's attorney, Ben Crump. Mr. Crump, thank you for being with us. What's the latest you've heard from state or local officials about where the investigation stands and what they believe happened to Nolan Wells?
The only thing we've heard is what was suggested at the very beginning before any forensics was done. Seemed like before any interviews or interrogation of any of the witnesses who were on the boat, and that is they don't believe it's any foul play. They think it was an accidental drowning. That has been the suggestion, and that's very troubling for Christine and Elmore, the parents of Nolan Wells, as many of us in the Black community, because we believe that they are trying to sweep this matter under the rug, especially when you think about the history of the state of Mississippi when it comes to Black people being killed in highly questionable situations and nobody ever having any accountability.
Local officials said that the friends are cooperating with the investigation. Is that true? And what explanation, if any, have his friends given for leaving the island without him?
You know, we don't know the level of cooperation the friends are engaging in. You know, we don't know the level of cooperation the friends are engaging in because they all have retained attorneys. But what Nolan's family and friends feel like, had the roles been reversed and that these had been 3 young Black men and there was only one young white man, and he ended up dead, that the investigation would be much more zealous. There would be interrogations. They would be separated. They would be held for all kinds of crimes and misdemeanors until somebody started to talk, that they would challenge the narrative that has been presented, and that being that Nolan voluntarily said he's going to stay behind, and his parents and friends outright reject that. They say that is not of Nolan's character or disposition, and had he done so, would he have ever not wanted his cell phone? We're talking about an 18-year-old kid. And so many things are troubling and conflict when they listen to these narratives, try to explain why Nolan Wells went out with them on the boat.
I want y'all to pay attention because he's about to ask Crump about that picture, y'all, which I think is very important. Watch.
Not wanted his cell phone. We're talking about an 18-year-old kid. So many things are troubling and conflict when they listen to these narratives, try to explain why Nolan Wells went out with them on the boat. They all came back alive, and Nolan was washed up on the shore unalive.
You shared a photo on social media that appears to show Nolan Wells at a land-based pool party in Jackson County on July 5th. We have the photo there on the screen, and there's a red circle, and he is in one of those red circles. And now this was a day before he was found dead. How does this photo call the timeline into question?
Well, so many people, and that's the thing that gives us hope that we will finally get to the truth of what really happened, because so many young people are talking and they're photographs, and they're sharing.
And irritated, y'all. That's the word, y'all. I can't.
Telling us that they were on Horn Island. And so I think the photograph that you're displaying is one that was presented to Nolan's mother and to my office that we shared on social media to simply say that if people have any information about who's in this photograph, when it was taken, where they were located at when they took this photograph, it would be very helpful, because there are many things in that photograph that we think can help build to what was the atmosphere on that July 4th weekend.
There are certainly at this point more questions than answers. What does his family, what does Nolan Wells' family want the public to understand about him beyond the circumstances of his untimely death?
You know, everybody, not just his mother and father, but everybody who's talked about Nolan Wells talks about what an angel of a person he was, how he was this gifted college football player, student athlete, how he was so considerate during school that he would always try to help people no matter who they were. They said Nolan's smile would just bright up who was responsible. So that's why they dispute him saying, I'm just going to stay on the island. And when you think about the conflict and the statements between the young lady he was talking to, who said he told her that he was going to get back into the boat with the boys. And then the boys said that Nolan said he was going to stay and talk with her. Obviously, the statements conflict with one another. And that's one of many contradictions and conflicts that are glaring in this case. And so we're just trying to ferociously search for the truth.
Attorney Ben Crump, thank you for joining us this evening. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, so we're gonna do this hype. We're gonna do hype. Let's see.
Questions, but as more information comes out, it appears the truth is coming to light. This time, we are seeing conflicting stories and timelines from the accused. On Sunday, another friend of Wells, Tracy Shepard, would for the first time speak about the day in which he would reveal that he was actually the person in the viral video at Horn Island heard yelling. In a new interview with Rolling Stone, Shepard would go on to admit that he wanted to fight someone after they would comment on he and his girlfriend arguing. I told him he needed to mind his own business. From the Rolling Stone article, it reads, Shepard says the exchange became heated and that he and the other man...
I told him he needed to mind his own business. Shepard 20 told me Saturday, a week after the disagreement. Shepard says the exchange became heated and that he and the other man ended up getting into a physical altercation. Shepard's uncle, who had raised him like a father, told Shepard to get out of the water and onto his boat so they can head back home. Shepard complied, but once he got on the boat, he changed his mind and decided he wanted to go back. Shepard's friends had by that point begun, defending him or him back on shore. Around this time, another adult on a nearby boat started filming the video, later posting it on social media.
Ended up getting into a physical altercation. Shepard's uncle, who had raised him like a father, told Shepard to get out of the water and onto his boat so they could head back home. Shepard complied, but once he got on the boat, he changed his mind and decided he wanted to go back. Shepard's friends had by that point begun defending him on shore. Around this time, another adult on a nearby boat started filming the video. My exact wording is, get me off this effing boat. I wanted to fight, and I feel like I hadn't had my fair share. Now, what makes Shepard's new admission interesting is that it looks to have exposed lies and inconsistencies with Nolan's friends, whom he traveled to the island with, saying that they last saw Nolan at 3 p.m. that day. If you can recall, the video that captured the aftermath of Shepard's confrontation would end up being captured at 4:01 p.m. And in this interview with Rolling Stone, Shepard would...
Hold on, y'all. Hold on. And he's gonna point out some times. See, I'm telling y'all, it's somebody's friend. I'm telling y'all, it's not a coincidence that he's the only one talking and he is talking so much. How many interviews has this boy done? I know at least 5 or 6, y'all. He's been on different platforms. We gonna listen. That's your opinion. There's nothing weird about this story. Okay, that's your opinion. You're entitled to have it. Yeah.
After they would comment on he and his girlfriend arguing, I told him he needed to mind his own business. From the Rolling Stone article, it reads, Shepard says the exchange became heated and that he and the other man ended up getting into a physical altercation. Shepard's uncle, who had raised him like a father, told Shepard to get out of the water and onto his boat so they could head back home. Shepard complied, but once he got on the boat, he changed his mind and decided he wanted to go back. Shepard's friends had by that point begun defending him on shore. Around this time, another adult on a nearby boat started filming the video. My exact wording is, get me off this effing boat. I wanted to fight, and I feel like I hadn't had my fair share. Now, what makes Shepard's new admission interesting is that it looks to have exposed lies and inconsistencies with Nolan's friends, whom he traveled to the island with, saying that they last saw Nolan at 3 p.m. that day. If you can recall, the video that captured the aftermath of Shepard's confrontation would end up being captured at 4:01 p.m. And in this interview with Rolling Stone, Shepard would confirm that Nolan was actually in the water out of view on camera at that time.
So that was 4 o'clock then. if what this guy is saying is true, the friend said they left between 3 and 3:30, but we knew that was a lie yesterday because then it changed to 5 o'clock, right? So they're lying about what time they actually left the island. So according to what this guy is saying on this video, if Tristan is telling the truth, and Nolan was in the water when this confrontation happened, or the video was captured, right, at 4:01 p.m. So this is the thing, and I said it, and I'll continue to say it. The truth don't change. The truth don't need no help. The truth don't change, no matter who tells it, if it's the truth. You know what I mean? So what is it with all these different times and these contradictions in these times? The rules of the chat. And listen, y'all gotta stay on topic. Like, y'all going back and forth in this chat about whether this young man will have gone to the NFL. It is definitely, and I don't see, when I know something is true and people are being ignorant and want to fight with me, I tend to do the opposite, right? We all know that just because this young man was at a community college does not mean he was not going to the NFL. But what is it to argue about right now? We're talking about his death. We're not talking about him making it to the NFL, because guess what? He's not here. So the thing about this chat right here, and I got 4 channels, and my people will tell you, this particular channel right here, I do not listen. My other channels are very laid back. It'd be a whole bunch of fuckery going on in my other chats. This channel right here, I can't do it. It irritates my soul. If you're not going to have a discussion on what is being talked about, what is going on, you got to go. I'm not going to sit here and be distracted by comments about whether this young man was going to go to the NFL, because guess what? He's not here. That's okay, Mr. Time, because you don't usually do it. And I know you're just trying to prove a point. But look, the point is what, though? He's not here, so we'll never know. And Mr. Time, as a man, you know that just because you go to a community college does not mean you're not going to be drafted, ever. We got plenty of NFL stars out there that went to community colleges. So I wouldn't even argue with ignorance. I don't do it. Don't argue with ignorance, because that's what trolls want, and they want to distract. And I don't allow distractions in these type conversations. That's okay, Mr. Time. You good, because I know you don't normally do that. Hey, Smurf, welcome to the chat.
Well, as noted in this new interview, that he was around Nolan and friends at 3:30 p.m., meaning Nolan was still very much near everyone else, his friends at 3 p.m. that day. If you can recall, the video that captured the aftermath of Shepard's confrontation would end up being captured at 4:01 p.m. And in this interview, Rolling Stone, Shepard would confirm that Nolan was actually in the water out of view on the camera at that time, as well as noted in this new interview that he was around Nolan's friends. Nolan was still very much near everyone else, despite his friends reporting to police that they last saw him at 3 p.m. Now, from this Rolling Stone interview, Shepard's admission goes on to reveal. Shepard says the man in the video, who people think is Wells, is too short to be his 6'2" friend. He says Wells is not shown in the video at all, that he was just out of frame, hanging out in the water. Now, according to official reports and a statement made by one of the young man's stepmother, who happens to also be a judge, Ashley Cole, would state her stepson and friends would leave the island around 4:30 p.m. due to issues with their boat. In her statement, she would say Warren was interviewed by the Jackson County Sheriff's Department.
What happened?
Boat. In her statement, she would say Warren was interviewed by the Jackson County Sheriff's Department and cooperated fully. He saw Nolan last at around 3 p.m. on July 4th. They left around 4:30 p.m. when the boat was taken on water and they had an issue with the bilge pump. Nolan made a decision to stay on the island and return inland later with another group of friends. Now, what's interesting about this statement is that a leaked direct message from Warren's biological mother several days before to a Facebook user looks to contradict his statement by a stepmother. To note, Warren's biological mom's message would take place before Nolan's body was found, in which it was only thought he was only a missing person, making it appear for some that this new changing of times and separating them to last seeing Nolan at 3 p.m. is part of a cover-up. Warren's
I get what he's saying. I hope y'all following what he's saying. The times don't match. Katie Hudson, he repeatedly asked Nolan to get on the boat at 5 when it was time to leave. See what I'm saying? And now, mind you, y'all, this statement right here, she posted before anybody knew he was actually unalive. He was just missing. So this is Warren's stepmother. Now the judge is this is his real mother. Apparently the judge is his stepmother, right? So this is his real mom of Warren. Or see, no, because I think the judge is Wyatt's mother. But anywho, listen, the real mother of Warren posted this message before Nolan's body was found. She's saying they left around 5. See, it goes from 3 to 3:30, 4 to 4:30 to 5. Don't nobody know what time they actually left that island? Why is there so many contradictions in the time that they allegedly left the island? So in this message, she says, he repeatedly asked Nolan to get on the boat at 5 when it was time to leave, but Nolan wanted to stay with the girl, and the boat was parked next to his. He was insistent about staying with this girl. Wyatt asked him several times. So this is Wyatt's real mother. Wyatt asked him several times to please get on the boat, and people heard him. My son loves him and would never in 1 million years leave him. Warren does not even have a boat.
Message would take place before Nolan's body was there. Made a decision to stay on the island and return inland later with another group of friends. Now, what's interesting about this statement is that a leaked direct message from Warren's biological mother several days before to a Facebook user looks to contradict his statement by a stepmother. To note, Warren's biological mom's message would take place before Nolan's body was found, in which it was only thought he was only a missing person, making it appear for some that this new changing of times and separating them to last seeing Nolan at 3 p.m. is part of a cover-up. Warren's actual mother would go on to write, I am Warren's mother, the woman you have been talking about on Facebook and posting pictures of our family. I'm here to tell you that we all love Nolan and we are deeply distraught. Your information is not correct, and I ask you to please stop posting about Warren and our family. My son did not ride out with him, nor did he come back with him. The boat that Nolan was supposed to get on, Wyatt's boat. He repeatedly asked Nolan to get on the boat at 5 when it was time to leave, but Nolan wanted to stay.
Y'all really got this. Excuse my stream today, honey. It's the weather. I apologize. It is storming cats, cows, and dogs outside.
Staying with his girl. Wyatt asked him several times to please get on the boat, and the people heard him. My son loves him and would never in 1 million years leave him. Warren does not even have a boat. Nolan has been to our house several times, and he is the sweetest friend. We all adore him. Again, when Wyatt asked for him to get on, he said he wanted to stay.
So honest with you, Mr. Time, I'm confused. Between Wyatt and Warren, I don't know whose mother is who. I have to sit down and try to figure that out because I'm confused. As you can see, I'm very confused. Thank you, Danielle, about who belongs to who. You got stepmothers, you got real mothers, and then you got Wyatt and Warren. I don't know. And the reason why I can't distinguish is because all these different stories and all these different versions, it's kind of hard to keep up. I'm going to have to sit down, though, and figure it out.
and Wyatt boat started to fill with water. His boat ended up breaking down and was towed in. Now, as shown, Nolan is documented due to his friend's new interview with Rolling Stone to being near everyone at 3:30 p.m. and again at 4 p.m. when the altercation happened, and not 3 p.m. as stated by Warren's stepmom, as well as a leaked message from Warren's actual mom that now places Nolan speaking with his friends about leaving around 4:35 p.m. Again, not 3 p.m. It is under these conditions that speculation has grown and leaves the question of what happened. Now, according to a Facebook post that was made at the top of Nolan's disappearance, the young lady whom he was talking to's sister allegedly looked to have filled in more of what took place.
So the girl that they claim he stayed with, remember y'all, she's saying that he left with them. Let's listen.
Facebook post that was made at the top of Nolan's disappearance, the young lady whom he was talking to's sister allegedly looked to have filled in more of what took place. According to her post, as Nolan's friends pressured him with ending his conversation with her sister so he can ride back with them. Katie had a conversation and assumed that Nolan was getting ready to get on the boat he came out in. Katie made it home because she was on another boat and with different people. Katie was safe because my brother and her sister-in-law went and got her. Katie assumed the friends telling him to get on the boat wouldn't have left him. Me and my family have talked, called, and are sending up prayers to bring Nolan home. We have given all the answers we can give to his mom and authorities. Now, with this series of information and reports, some are now feeling that Nolan may have been swimming to get on the boat and his friends would leave him in the water, thus being an explanation for some on why his friends are now separating when they last saw Nolan at 3 p.m. and when they left, instead of it all happening at once, as first indicated by Warren's mother, to hide that they knew Nolan was in the water to get back on the boat. Now, if this isn't the case and only speculation, then according to these statements and new interview, Nolan's friends would not see him for close to 2 hours, despite him still being documented with Shepard and others at the plantation. Why was the Coast Guard contacted at 11 p.m. by his friends, leading some to speculate that they knew Nolan was in the water when they last saw him? Because for some following the case, it makes no sense that his friends would conclude Nolan was in serious danger and is in possible need of search and rescue, when according to them was last seen safely talking to a girl. To note, Nolan's father would state that he remembers seeing people camping on the island overnight when he searched for Nolan the following morning, meaning there was never a moment when the island was empty, meaning Nolan could have used another person's phone on the island if he was stuck. So what did his friends suspect about Nolan that night that would make them think of calling the Coast Guard? According to outlet WLOX, the first time the Coast Guard would be contacted about Nolan was on July 4th at 11 p.m., but it was later determined that it did not need their assistance. The Coast Guard told WLOX on Thursday, July 9th, that a friend of Wells contacted agency around 11 p.m., the night of July 4th. The Coast Guard would not disclose any information about the call to WLOX. But said it did not require Coast Guard assistance. A part of this, some are asking, what did Nolan's friends know?
I'm confused, y'all. I'm confused. So according to this guy, the call was made to the Coast Guard at 11, but then they later called back and say no, they no longer needed their assistance. I'm confused about that. Why? Why would they call and say they needed them and then call back and say never mind? I'm trying to follow this because it's just a lot. I'm gonna have to listen to this video again.
about Nolan was on July 4th at 11 p.m., but it was later determined that it did not need their assistance. The Coast Guard told WLOX on Thursday, July 9th, that a friend of Wells contacted agency around 11 p.m., the night of July 4th. The Coast Guard would not disclose any information about the call to WLOX, but said it did not require Coast Guard assistance. A part of this, some are asking, what did Nolan's friends know, since Nolan had no way of contacting them after allegedly leaving his phone on the boat? Now, following this first reported from the Coast Guard, they would eventually get involved the next day at 12:26 p.m. after being contacted by local police. The statement confirming this taking place would for some align with the theory that his friends knew he was in the water. As it reads, they were requested to search in the vicinity of Horn Island and not on Horn Island. At 12:26 p.m., Coast Guard Sector Mobile received a request for assistance from the Jackson County Sheriff's Office in search of a missing person in the vicinity of Horn Island. Sector and not on Horn Island. At 12:26 p.m., Coast Guard Sector Mobile received a request for assistance from the Jackson County Sheriff's Office in search of a missing person in the vicinity of Horn Island. Sector watchstanders issued an urgent marine information broadcast and diverted a Coast Guard helicopter to search the area. Currently, as of this report, questions remain, like how did they know Nolan never made it back to land if they last saw him just talking to a girl? And again, why would the Coast Guard be a thought to call? As of now, many continue to speculate, especially after a new photo would go viral over the weekend and later debunked by Shepard of Nolan allegedly attending a pool party that night. According to another interview with ABC News, Shepard would go on to say that the pool party happened on June 27th, and this would also be verified by metadata according to Rolling Stone. Now, the same story would spread on Facebook and other parts of social media when the user would allege that Nolan was beat up at this party and later dropped back off on the island. The person would even claim to have spoken to Nolan's mother, in which Nolan's mother now looks to have expressed that the person spreading this story is not a close friend of his, as they claim, nor did they ever speak to her. As of this report, people following the story continue to wait to the now 2 autopsies conducted to better confirm what may have happened to Nolan.
I think that's the best video I've seen as far as the timeline breakdown. I'm gonna have to listen to that again and take notes. I think that video right there, which I'm gonna play again tomorrow, is the best breakdown of the timeline. To be honest, in my opinion. Let's go to Chronicle Speaks. Okay, so I think Ben Crump went on Ricky Smiley. Hold on.
He's representing the family of 18-year-old Nolan Xavier Wells, the Mississippi student athlete whose death following a 4th of July trip to Horn Island has sparked national attention. Y'all please welcome the one and only attorney Ben Crump. Hey, Ben. Hey, Ben, good morning. How you feeling, man?
Hey, good morning, Ricky Smiley. Working harder night and day, like Michael Jackson say, but, we have to do that now more than ever because as you and I talked about personally, they're trying to just get away with all kind of unconstitutional and inhumane things against our children. And so now we're in Mississippi, and we're going to fight to get to the truth of what happened to Nolan Wells.
Now, Ben,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, over the weekend, on social media, we saw, the alleged footage of Nolan at the house party after his visit on Horn Island. In your opinion, and from what you've seen and what you found out, is this true? And what does it mean for the case? And what are you working against?
Well, we are looking at every allegation, every post, every video, every photograph. We the truth. So we're examining all of that. We're getting about 50 to 75 calls a day to our call center since we had the press conference last week, asking people, pleading with people, if you were on Horn Island, please contact us. If you have any information, please contact us. We're trying to put together this mystery of why the boys on the boat came back alive and Nolan Wells came washed up on the shore dead. And so that photograph and the videos, we're just trying to study them, have our experts review everything, doing stuff that, we believe a fair and impartial investigation should be doing. Because as his family, his parents, they don't trust the law enforcement agencies in the state of Mississippi to be fair and impartial with the death of their son when they're a young white man that may have criminal culpability.
Wow. Ben, so the family has repeatedly said that they have more questions than answers. What are some of the most important questions that they still haven't gotten answers for?
Oh, goodness, there's so many glaring contradictions in this.
I'm gonna go out and come back in, y'all. Give me a second.
Said he was going to get back in the boat with the boys. The boys say that Nolan told them he was going to stay and keep talking to the young woman. Well, obviously, somebody is not telling the truth here because the statements contradict one another. And then, obviously, you have this video, but now we finding out there are more videos that exist where people, several witnesses have told us there's an argument that's involving Nolan. And so we're trying to get down to exactly who that argument was and what was happening. I know we broke down one video. We can tell that person is saying, give me my freaking phone. What are you freaking doing? And then you have the issue with him not having his cell even the fact that his body is washed up on the shore on Monday morning, when the meteorological experts were opined that if his body is coming with the tides, the fact that, the waves and the moon gravitational pull is constant, it's not something that's arbitrary. So he should have been washed up on that coast when they went looking on Sunday morning, not Monday morning. So many questions. Things are not adding up.
Wow. So, authorities continue to say, with everything you've just said right here is new information. They say, though, they haven't found any evidence of foul play. What evidence do you think they're overlooking besides what you've just told us? And what specifically do you and the family want them to do next?
What we want and what we wanted was them to be zealous in their investigation of this matter. What we wanted them to do is treat the death of Nolan Wells like they would have treated it had the roles been reversed. And you had 3 white young men on a boat with a young white man, and that young white man ended up dead. See, Rick Smiley, we would have had a first 48 situation. We would have had them being interrogated. They would have been separated. They would have been held. They wouldn't have been released. They would have been arrested for underage drinking. It would have been all kind of stuff. But we don't see that kind of intensity here. And so that's what we're arguing and fighting for. We want our children's lives to matter just as much as you value your a ferocious search for the truth. And that's all we want. We ain't asking for nothing special, because probably one of the biggest glaring contradictions or just head scratchers is the fact that you got this 18-year-old college football player, student athlete, superb shape, and he allegedly has an accidental drowning with hundreds of people around there, and he's one of the only black people, if not one of, not many of us out there, and nobody, Ricky Smiley, sees him drowning and tries to help or anything. It just doesn't add up. And that's why people are so alarmed. This is Mississippi. We know that they're trying to sweep it under the rug, and we're refusing to let them sweep it under the rug.
Yeah, because I want to ask you about those pictures that showed up at that pool party, which kind of suggested that he made it back and something happened or whatever. And if that's true or not, can you stand by? We got, ladies and gentlemen, we have more with Attorney Ben Crump coming up next. We can Smile the Morning Show. We got our guest on with us, Attorney Ben Crump, civil rights attorney Ben Crump. Ben, I just want to ask you, real quick, are those pictures that's posted all over social media with the Nolan Wells at a pool party, is that true? Or in the second part question, are the witnesses cooperating?
So, Ricky, I know Jeff Johnson and I started texting about this over the weekend too, when those photographs started to appear on social media, and actually his parents shared those pictures with us before they started, going viral on social media. And the thing I would say, Rick, I think the photographs are authentic. The question is, when is this pool party? And that's what we do not know. So we, like we said, we're trying to investigate more than we speculate. Apparently posted them on the 4th of July. So did he post them the next day, or did it actually happen on the 4th of July? And apparently they tried to delete all these pictures, but on Threads, they had not been deleted. And so thank God to the court of public opinion, because people then started capturing the images before they could delete them from the Threads platform. And so that's the only reason we're seeing all these pictures with all, this underage drinking and, things that identify so many people. And certainly Nolan was the only black in the pool out of about 60 people.
Let me, real quick, I know you got to get out of here, but what is the single biggest piece of evidence that makes you believe this investigation isn't adding up?
Oh, just the fact, the cell phone. I mean, it's just so obvious that if I tell you I'm going to stay behind and I'm an 18-year-old teenager, am I going to not get my cell phone and not get my keys?
Right.
I'm just going to be on an island with no means of communication. That's not what young people do. The fact that you have all these Snapchat posts deleted. I mean, when you look at all the things being posted about Nolan, that's all young people do is Snapchat.
Right.
They, so, and that's why I think we're to get to the bottom of the island. And so they are calling, they are talking, and we're going to continue to, encourage them to talk. I know I'm so grateful to people like Colin Kaepernick and Tyler Perry and Byron Allen and Little Real. So many people are stepping up saying, hey, we want it to be a thorough investigation, so we're donating to this GoFundMe so we can make certain that you all can get the best investigators to go toe-to-toe with the state of Mississippi, because apparently they're not going to use their resources to zealously investigate this as if the roles were reversed. And I know they can say what they want to say about me. I just know in my heart of hearts, I've been a civil rights lawyer for 26 years, but I've been black all my life. And if these would have been 3 black boys with a white boy and he ended up dead, it would be investigated totally different.
Right. Ben, let everybody know. I appreciate you coming on. I hope you can come back on this week as this case develop. Ben, let everybody know how you can be reached in this and how they can help.
Yeah, add Attorney add Attorney Crump on Instagram, Facebook, all the platforms. Please DM us, bencrump.com, if you have some information. If you have some thoughts. We're all in this together. I never want to think I'm the smartest person in the room, because then that means you have some ideas, some thoughts. Hit us up on social media. I have people really, really know the truth, Ricky Smiley, of why Nolan Wells is dead.
Yeah, hey, Big Dog, appreciate you, man. Please be careful out there. If you need anything from me, Ben, just text me. Love you, man. I appreciate you. Thank you for coming on the show this morning.
Love you too, Ricky. And thank you for doing the podcast too, brother. That studio in Atlanta is incredible. And we need to hear your voice over and over again, because you speak for the culture, Ricky Smiley. Thank you.
I'm just trying to be like you, Big Dog. Y'all give it up, man, for the one.
All right, that was a good interview with Ricky Smiley, y'all. I mean, they really going on. All right, so let's let me see, because we're gonna get into Chronicle Speaks, and then I think I want to get into we'll cover the rest of this stuff on another day. Oh, okay, so we're gonna do Chronicle Speaks, we're gonna do this Griot interview, and then I want to do Roland Martin. We might have to do the other young man tomorrow, because I want to get all these in. Listen, it's the reason why I'm playing all these interviews, right? It's a reason. It's definitely a reason why I want to react to all these interviews. One thing I will say, though, with the interviews of the parents and Ben Crump, what they're saying is consistent. You know what I'm saying? What they're saying in all of these interviews is consistent. And to be honest, what the friend is saying is consistent. Now, what happens is when this shit first popped off and people were posting pictures and making posts and things of that nature, what was said in the beginning, even before Nolan's body was found, is not consistent with what that best friend is out here saying. Even though the best friend is consistent in what he's saying, it's like it's a script. I'm gonna be honest. It's like he read and memorized the script, because he's consistent. And it's weird because his words with each interview are just so identical. Like, it's weird, but not. Because, like I say, I feel like it's a script. But his story, no matter how consistent it is, it don't add up to what, the mother and the stepmother and all them posted. These times not adding up. That shit is weird. Like, the times are not adding up, and it's weird. All right, so let's go to Chronicle Speaks. And she may be talking about the same thing we just heard, but after her, we're going to get into these other interviews with the parents.
Now, over week has passed since 18-year-old Nolan Xavier Wells was found deceased. And despite the world continuing to ask questions, many of the biggest answers are still nowhere to be found. Now, we've heard the rumors, we've seen the theories, and we've watched social media detectives dissect every photograph, every video, and every interview. But when it comes to the official investigation, the silence has been deafening. Where is the autopsy? Has the independent autopsy been completed? What evidence was recovered from the boat? Were forensic tests performed before the boat was returned? And have investigators ruled anyone in or out? Those are the questions people continue to ask because right now, there simply hasn't been enough information released to satisfy a grieving family or a concerned public. Today, we're going to break down and why every day that passes without answers only fuels more speculation. So before we get into today's update, we need to address the elephant in the room. Yesterday, a photo that was posted days earlier by Evan Noel spread across social media like wildfire. Now, Evan Noel uploaded what appeared to be a photo dump labeled Summer 26, featuring several different pictures. Now, the post was shared during the early morning hours of July 5th, 2026 to both his Instagram and his Threads account. Now, at first, it didn't receive much attention, but as people began looking through the photos after Nolan's disappearance and death, one image in particular started generating questions. Some viewers believed that they could see Nolan in the background, while others focused on what appeared to be a pool party with an older man who had USA shaved into his chest. Now, because of the timing of the upload, many people immediately began wondering whether these photos were taken after the group's reported trip to the island on July 4th. Now, according to people following the case, one woman commented on a Threads post asking, "Is that Nolan in the back?" She claims that shortly afterwards, her comment disappeared. She was blocked, and that particular picture in the photo dump eventually was removed. The remaining photos stayed up, but that particular post was no longer available. Almost immediately, people began speculating that this photo had been taken on the night of July 4th after the group had returned from the island where Nolan Wells was last seen. Then things escalated even further. A woman identified as Alledged made a social media post claiming that Nolan had been or asked Nolan's mother about these allegations. It's important to point out that as of today, these claims have not been publicly substantiated by law enforcement. However, the story gained more attention after attorney Ben Crump, who is representing Nolan's family, reposted the pool picture with the following comment: "Nolan Wells investigation update. The streets are talking." Now listen, I don't know if these are facts or rumors because no official statement have been confirmed. We sometimes have to follow all clues until the truth is found. Here is what was discovered on social media last night. Social media allegations claim a photo exists of Nolan at a land-based pool party in Jackson County before 1 o'clock a.m. on July 5th. But then came a significant development. Nolan's mother, Christine Wansley, publicly pushed back on some of those claims. According to Christine, she had never spoken to Alledged. Alledged was never one of Nolan's friends, and she does not know where those allegations originated. Since then, she attempted to contact Alledged. Alleged's page has been deleted, adding yet another layer of confusion to an investigation that already has more questions than answers. Now, while social media has been consumed with dissecting photos and rumors, someone who says he was actually there has decided to speak out. One of Nolan's friends, Tracy Shepard, has now come forward to clarify two of the biggest misconceptions surrounding this case. First, he addressed the now infamous beach video that many people believe captured Nolan during what some described as a heated confrontation. According to his account, it wasn't Nolan's voice heard yelling in the video at all. He says that he was the one yelling with another man in the water, not Nolan. Take a listen to this.
I just know I've lost my best friend.
This morning, a friend of Nolan Wells, who was with the 18-year-old the day he was last seen alive, is sharing what he says happened during a July 4th boat trip to an isolated barrier island off the Mississippi Gulf Coast. Trayston Shepard declined to speak with us on camera because he says he and his friends are getting threats.
We did no wrong here, and we don't understand how we're getting so much hate behind it. We all cared and loved Nolan, and nobody wanted to see Nolan die. Nobody wanted to see his life be taken so short.
Shepard addressed this viral video that investigators have been studying. Wells's parents worried it showed their son involved in a confrontation, but Shepard said that's him, not Wells.
That's the video I'm referring to. That's me yelling.
Shepard says he took a boat back from Horn Island in the late afternoon, but Wells stayed behind with a girl he had met.
They met that. But that was the only time they'd ever hung out, was at Horn Island on July 4th.
Investigators believe Wells drowned and say there were no immediate signs of foul play. But there is growing frustration in the community, and his parents are skeptical, telling GMA Wells left his phone behind and they tracked it to one of his friends.
It was showing everywhere the phone had been. I was like, well, it's showing that he's back on land.
The sheriff said the parents have not turned over the phone to investigators. Their lawyers said they will. While the investigation goes on, Trayston Shepard wants the focus on his friend.
I want everybody just to relax and let everybody mourn the loss of Nolan, and let us remember him as in like the sweet guy. I think everybody needs to let the investigation continue and let the facts be shown.
Shepard has spoken with the police guys, and the sheriff told us that both he and all of Wells's friends have been cooperative. We're still waiting on the results of the official autopsy and the independent autopsy the family has ordered, hoping to get the Wells family the answers that they so desperately seek.
Also, according to Nolan's friend Trayston Shepard, the pool party happened on June 27th at 11:58 p.m. There were some friends from the friend group that actually gave the pictures to the Rolling Stone, and the Rolling Stone said that they were able to verify their metadata. So I guess for now we have to take their word for it. I myself like to show proof and receipts, but I guess old media doesn't have to do that now, do they? Now, one big issue that I've noticed with this case is that the longer the public goes without updates, the louder social comes. We've now reached the point where almost the graph is going to be analyzed to be a facial expression because speculation has a way of overtaking evidence. At the end of the day, something about this case still doesn't sit right with a lot of people, whether it's because of the lack of official updates, the conflicting stories, or the constant stream of rumors on social media. There is a growing sense that many questions remain unanswered. And for some, trust in this investigation was shaky very early on. Many people point to comments made by the sheriff, who said relatively early in the investigation that he did not expect foul play. While it's understandable that law enforcement may share preliminary observations, some members of the public, including myself, felt that those comments came before the investigation had fully run its course. To us, it sounded as though conclusions were being suggested before all of the evidence had been gathered and analyzed. And one thing I haven't brought up before is that there has also been discussions online about the medical examiner assigned to this case. Some social media users have raised concerns based on allegations and criticisms involving previous cases. Those concerns have circulated widely, particularly within communities already questioning whether this investigation will be handled thoroughly and fairly. Take a listen to this.
So the autopsy for Nolan Xavier Wells will be done by...
I'm Stacey Turner, and I'm the Chief Medical Examiner of the state of Mississippi.
But the problem with this Chief Medical Examiner is that Dr. Stacey Turner may have mislabeled other Black men's causes of death. So I was looking into Mississippi Free Press, and experts pointed out that say she labeled other causes as 2021.
Now, didn't I tell y'all that it was the reason why that commissioner was This is not funny, man, but I'm trying to really just laugh to keep from yelling, screaming, and hollering. So didn't I tell y'all that it was the reason why that commission was sitting up there, pretty much running down this woman's resume and, you know, trying to get the public to believe she was the best in the nation and she was the best, and she was the best. Didn't I tell y'all that it was the reason why that man did that? It's called damage control. The motherfuckers do it all the time. They already know what it is. They already know what it's going to be. And what they do is come out here and throw up a smoke screen, right? So now we're hearing things about this medical examiner, right? Mm-hmm. I told y'all it was a reason for that dude. Listen, tell you, man, oh man, I be, it really be fucking me up when things that I think and things that I foresee actually comes out, right? Yeah. Bitch, you go drown. How about that? You go drown. All right, but anywho, let's listen about this medical examiner.
That say she labeled other causes of death as undetermined, despite evidence to the contrary.
Yeah, because there's a lot of black men, black young women, there's a lot of black people in Mississippi that die by the hands of racists. And when you got a medical examiner that's saying undetermined, you can't file charges on the motherfucker. See, I ain't finna sit up here and act like I don't know what the hell go on. I'm too close to Mississippi not to know. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you get an old crooked ass medical examiner that you can have a black man come in there beat up, cut up, stabbed. The police done whooped his ass to the highest point on a high level, and then you'll get a crooked ass medical examiner to say, "Oh, death undetermined." Ugh.
So in the summer of 2021, a body was delivered to the medical examiner's office, crime lab in Jackson, Mississippi, right? He died after struggle with police. His face was swollen, he was bloodied, and he was bleeding from his neck. It was someone.
Oh, man, he had a what with the police, honey? What you say, sweetie?
Despite evidence to the contrary. Summer 2021, a body was delivered to the medical examiner's office, crime lab in Jackson, Mississippi, right? He died after struggle with police. His face was swollen. He was bloody.
Wait a minute, you gotta slow down. No, I'm gonna slow you down. Hold on. After what? Because see, we got to hear this. He died after what? Not struggling with the police. Hold on.
To the medical examiner's office, crime lab in Jackson, Mississippi, right? He died after struggle with police. His face was swollen. He was bloodied.
I can't. Hold on. See, I don't want to assume nothing, right?
Evidence to the contrary. So in the summer of 2021, a body was delivered to the medical examiner's office, crime lab in Jackson, Mississippi, right? He died after struggle with police. His face was swollen.
She said he died after a struggle with the police. See, this is what I just said, and y'all know I don't watch this shit. Look, I'm just listening to this just like y'all. Didn't I just say that? Yeah, it's struggle, Octavia. After struggling with the police. Police will whoop your ass, kill you, send you to the medical examiner. They say no foul play. He just died. He just dead. Yeah, and they get away with that shit. But Mississippi ain't the only place that does it though. But it's bad. It's really bad. And see, that's the reason why the mama keeps stressing. This is the thing. I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying anybody kill my son or harm my son. But what I'm telling you is I don't trust these people. I don't trust these people. Because we know that they have a whole system, lies, deceit, murder, and all that. Like they do it. And it, man.
He was bloodied and he was bleeding from his neck. There was some witnesses that described seeing two deputies kneeling on him for more than 10 minutes. Yet, Ms. Turner here labeled the manner of death as undetermined, which that type of decision will call off any further investigations. And it said here that both of the officers.
After struggling with the police, this black man this black man dies. Right? He just beat up and go to the jail. He dead. He goes to the medical examiner's office. His ass is whooped. He's bleeding, bloody, swollen, bleeding from the neck. And this woman determines that his death, the cause of death, is undetermined. Officers go back to work, business as usual. Like this man just whooped his own ass. Or like you don't know that this man probably bled to death internally or some shit. Like no death is undetermined, but like no death is undetermined. It's a cause for every death. It is a cause for every death. So to be able to determine that a death is undetermined is wild to me. I mean the cause of death. Oh my God. So, hold on, y'all. I'm back, y'all.
Yet, Ms. Turner here labeled the manner of death as undetermined, which that type of decision will call off any further investigations. And which that type of decision will call off any further investigations. And it said here that both of the officers returned to work.
Chief Medical Examiner Stacy Turner is the same medical examiner from the Trey Reed's case. She's the one who deemed Trey Reed's death a self-unaliving after he was in some problems with 4 white boys.
Okay, what is your name and your job title? I'm Stacy Turner, and I'm the Chief Medical Examiner of the state of Mississippi. How long have you been at DPS? It will be 5 years as January 1st. What do you love most about your job? I really love the people I work with.
It says State Medical Examiner Dr. Stacy Turner ruled Trey Reed's death a self-unaliving. Trey was found from a tree at Delta State University, Mississippi. Chief Medical Examiner.
Guess who was the medical examiner who covered up? Ding, 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 ding. Stacy Turner again. Crump, this is 0 for 3 for Stacy. The brother of this kid just came in my inbox. Stacy Turner told this family that they don't perform autopsies on drowning victims. So this family again had to pay out of pocket, bring their child to a different state for a private autopsy. Stacy Turner, you are public enemy #1 in my book.
What's a fact is this: Nolan's family deserves a complete, thorough, and unbiased investigation. Every piece of evidence should be examined. Every witness should be interviewed. Every forensic finding should be followed wherever it leads, regardless of where the path ends. The public isn't asking investigators to rush to judgment. They're simply asking for confidence that every possible avenue is being explored before any final conclusions are being reached. Until more information is released, many people will continue to watch this case closely, including myself, hoping that answers eventually match the questions that have been asked since the very beginning. What I need to do is hear from you. What do you think about everything currently going on with the Nolan Wells case? Leave a comment and we will talk about it down below. Thank you for watching.
We had 3 hours, y'all. I halfway want to stop right here because I'm so sick of the way this internet is going. Oh, I promise y'all. And I know I'm not a person that gives up, but let me see. I wanted y'all to see. Damn. Okay, I'm gonna do 2 more videos. Now the rest of these videos I absolutely want y'all to see, and we probably gonna start with these tomorrow, as well as talking about the new case that I was telling y'all about, because I want y'all to see every one of these videos, but I want this damn internet to be working right. And so I'm gonna play these 2 most recent videos, and I think these were done today, actually. So I'm gonna do these last 2. I'm gonna end it, and then tomorrow, y'all, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, including the video I tell you where she talks about the mom, and also including interviews with the parents, and also another interview with Ben Crump. Okay, so we're gonna start off with those tomorrow. We're gonna start out with those tomorrow, but we're gonna end it with these 2 today. So let me let's see what this one talks about. They doing a lot of talking, but they ain't saying shit. Ain't that something? Where are my comments? Looking like that. I'm going to the bushes. Okay, I didn't even realize it was that late, but yeah. All right, Tanya, we'll see you later. Let me play these last 2 videos, and then we're gonna start up tomorrow. Hopefully, it'll be a better day for my
Community clamoring for answers about the death of 18-year-old Nolan Wells during a July 4th boat trip with friends. The sheriff is asking for help and pleading for patience.
I think it's important that we don't put ourselves on the timetable and that we don't rush ourselves. But I do think it's important to be diligent in gathering all the facts. That's what the family deserves.
Wells never returned from a remote barrier island off the Mississippi Gulf Coast.
The very thing that makes Horn Island such an idyllic spot to hang out for the day is what makes the case tricky for investigators. There's nothing here. There are no phones, there are no cameras, there's no police. It's why authorities have asked anyone who was here July 4th with Nolan Wells to come forward.
Even if you may think that it might be insignificant, every little bit helps. And that may be a bigger contribution than you think to this case.
Could be a public tip that breaks it open for you.
Exactly.
A close friend of Wells, Trayston Shepard, says the group's spent the day
and people started to drink more, and people started to get more drunk.
of Wells, Trayston Shepard, says the group spent the day swimming and drinking.
Well, we were just having fun all day, and then as the day went on, people started to drink more, and people started to get more drunk.
We asked the sheriff whether drinking or drugs played a role in Wells's death.
Of course, the rumors are out there, but we don't respond to rumors. We respond to facts.
And as investigators attempt to build a full timeline of the teen's movements and whereabouts that weekend, this photo showing Wells at a pool party has been circulating widely online and has been shared by his family's attorney. ABC News confirming it was taken a week before he visited Horn Island. Authorities initially suspect Wells drowned, although the results of autopsies by both officials and the one the family ordered are pending. On our visit to the island, we heard from a local boat captain about how the scenic haven could quickly turn treacherous.
Down there at the end, the west end of the island, there's a current that can, get you really quick and deep.
So if you're an experienced in that area of the island, could be a little dodgy?
Yes, especially with the current down there at the very end. It kind of eddies. If you're out there trying to swim that deep, yeah. Time check, please.
His parents are now planning a funeral for their son, which his mother, Christine, posted overnight. Guys, does not feel real. She said all of her emotions are running together, and her post
will be made available, which could shed some light.
It sure could, Robin, and there's a lot riding on that coroner's report, but there's no telling when it's going to be made public. There were no obvious signs of trauma that investigators saw right away. That's why they've suspected that he drowned, but they still aren't sure exactly why or what led up to that death, and that's why they're counting on the medical examiner's report, the toxicology report, and the independent autopsy that the family is demanding.
Yeah, need those questions answered. All right, thanks to you for being there on the coast, Aaron. Thank you.
All right, y'all. So the next one, let's see.
Welcome to the TMZ podcast. This is Devin with Courtney.
Hi.
What's going on?
Nothing. Tuesday.
Yeah.
Always a slower day.
Is it? I mean, it just depends on the day, the morning.
Yeah. Well, Tuesday
tired
was
today.
like the rough. Yeah, that's always like the most tired on Tuesday.
What? Monday?
No.
I want to watch this one. Hold on. Nah, I don't. Let's see. That Roland Martin series, I definitely want to get into on tomorrow. So what we're going to do is this. We did Chronicle Speaks. You know what? I'm going to let y'all hear the video. But what I will do is play the interview with the griot, with the mom and the dad.
The story of Nolan Wells has gripped the nation. The 18-year-old went to Horn Island with friends on July 4th and never made it home. Tonight, his parents, Christine Wansley and Elmore Wansley, and their lawyer, Mr. Ben Crump, are here to share about
What I want y'all to do is pay very close attention to the mannerisms. Truth, have you heard how many other drownings? I have to research it. It's been several, but I can't say, Ms. Lynn, exactly how many. It's something I'm gonna research though. I do know it's also been like several like unalivings. Some they place on suit, they say it's suicide or this and the third. It's just a lot. But I'll try to do my research on it and give you an answer. I want y'all to pay very close attention to the mom and the dad in this video. Because this video is the video that the content creator whose video I might play tomorrow that talks about the mom and allegations against the mom. This is the video that she refers to, right? So I want y'all to watch this video, watch very carefully. And then on tomorrow, when I play what she has to say, you can kind of know or figure out what she's talking about. All right, so let me play this and hopefully y'all it'll play.
Fight for the truth of what happened to Nolan and also to tell us who Nolan was. Before we talk about anything related to the case, I want to express my condolences to you, Christine and Elmore, and to just say that you have been so inspirational in the midst of your pain and grief, the way you have advocated for Nolan. And I just want to ask, how are you doing?
You're welcome, Miss Celine.
Hanging in there, praying a lot, leaning on our family, our faith, our friends, our community that has really just rallied behind us during this tragedy. But yeah, all we can do right now is just take it day by day. But most importantly, taking care of each other, supporting one another, and just trying to keep our emotions kind of under control. Because sometimes when you have, tragedies like this, you want to be angry. Sometimes because you just want to know, but I feel like doing a good job of just keeping each other accountable in that aspect of making sure that we stay level-headed whenever we're speaking, making decisions, etc.
Yeah, and there's so many amazing stories about Nolan that bring light in the midst of all of this. So I imagine that is helping as well. Well, I want to ask, tell me, since you've been doing these many amazing stories about Nolan that bring light in the midst of all of this. So I imagine that is helping as well. I want to ask, tell me, since you've been doing these interviews, have you heard anything new? What is the latest with the local investigation that is happening alongside of independent investigation?
So I'm going to be honest, we have not heard from our local authorities since last Tuesday. And that was because I sent a text. I was like, hey, this is Christine, Nolan's mom, just wanted to get an update. We received a phone call, basically really no updates. And that was it. We've heard from no one else.
Wow. Mr. Crump, what's your reaction to that? Is there anything that indicates, is that abnormal for you as someone who's worked on many cases?
It certainly is, if you put it in context. I know I had the opportunity to talk with Byron Allen, and Byron and I really had a deep exchange, because we talked about if the roles were reversed, this investigation would be handled totally different. I mean, you would have had those young men being interrogated. They would have been separated. It would have been like first 48. If you had 3 young black men with 1 young white man, and that young white man ended up dead. And so what?
That's like I say, pay very close attention to the mom. I'm not saying that to say she's doing anything wrong. All I'm saying is pay very close attention to the mom and the difference between the way she's acting and the dad is acting. My God.
What you would do for anybody's son and get to the bottom of this, because it's not adding up. And the fact that it seems like it's such a laissez-faire investigation. We take whatever they say as the gospel. We don't, press them on anything. We don't cross-examine them on anything. They say, Nolan said, I volunteer that I'm just going to stay behind. And I'm not even going to ask for my cell phone. They just take that as a grain of salt. And they know their child. They know the young person they raised. He would not have done those things, but they have articulated that over and over again. And so we have to hold everybody accountable. The local officials, the boys on the boat, everybody have to be held to account.
And to that point, I would like to ask, Elmore, you have spoken about conversations that you had with Nolan about staying with a group, always keeping in contact. Can you open up a little bit more about that father-son coaching that often happens with dads and boys about how to move about in this world? Because I think it's really powerful.
I think I really I can really thank my mother, and I was the smallest of the bunch, so I had to kind of defend myself against them a lot. But one thing that everyone fights, and I preach that same thing to my kids: if you go somewhere with someone, you come back with them. Don't let a girl separate you from your safety net. It's plenty of girls. You see one here, you see one there. So for them to come back and that'd be the first thing that come out there, my like he decided to stay on the island, and we left. That when they said that, they automatically just turned me off, but it turned on a question like, I know he wouldn't do that. I preach that to him every day. He would not do that. So you telling me that you're lying to me just off the rip, you're lying to me. I can't believe that. And I won't believe that.
I saw that today for the first time, because really a lot of folks who were there have been silent. We saw, people taking down their Facebook. It was almost an instant reaction that people went into to protect themselves. But Trayston Shepard described himself as Nolan's best friend. He gave an interview saying that he was the one who was yelling in one of the viral videos that people had been questioning, and said that it wasn't Nolan in the video, that it was him, and that Nolan met a girl that day that he really liked, even though he'd never, interacted with this girl before. Her name was Katie. Have you spoken to Trayston since Nolan's passing, and how are you responding to his account of what happened?
So first of all, we don't know Trayston. We've never met him.
Oh, wow.
So to say never met him, he's never been to our
home. Now, if you were to say that about
Did I tell y'all it was something? You know what? I'm not finna play with y'all. I'm not finna even play with y'all on this one. I told y'all it was something fishy about that friend. So you need to tell me this was was not Nolan's best friend, and the parents ain't never met him. And she's naming our friends that are actually friends. Didn't I tell y'all it was something funny about that? But we're gonna keep listening.
And how are you responding to his account of what happened?
So first of all, we don't know Tristan. We've never met him. So to say, best friend, childhood friend, that's a bit of a stretch. We've never met him. He's never been to our home. Now, if you were to say that about Jalen or Javon, I would say absolutely. You could say that those are childhood friends, those are best friends, because they've been to our home. We know their family. We're close to, their mother. But this young man, I maybe high school, they started hanging out or, kind of been around each other. But again, we don't know him. And not to discount anything he has said, which of course, still trying to rule those things out. But I mean, he has communicated. He did offer his condolences, which we appreciate. And he did let me know about that tidbit, which of course, like I've been telling everyone, if you have any information, forward that over to the local authorities. Make sure also forward that over to our legal team as well, just to make sure that we're looking at everything.
And this girl, Katie, who has been cited. Oh, yes, Mr. Crump, go ahead.
Let me say this to the young man. But some of his friends, they rejected this notion about, he said, oh, he would just volunteer to stay. They're saying, and he doesn't really, and so many people now calling our call center saying where there was this argument and then 10 minutes later, there was another argument. But those people who have called said, no, Nolan was in an argument. And so now we have to continue to investigate to try to figure out everything that happened. But we absolutely do not accept that he volunteered to stay behind and he volunteered not to have his cell phone with him.
Yes, it's definitely unusual for any teenager to part with their cell phone. This young woman, Katie, who's been cited in these various recollections of what happened that day, do you know if she's been identified? Has anyone spoken to her?
She has been identified. I do not know if anyone has spoken to her. Again, we just have not heard much, right, from our local authorities, which we're glad that we have kind of taken this course, however it may end. We're glad we did, because of this right now, not, being able to have that communication. I just would think with situations like this, they would be more forthcoming, like, hey, let us keep you up to date. We understand the seriousness of the situation and, what you guys are going through. So yeah, but we don't know. We've never met Katie. I've never seen her in my life. She did reach out to me initially, just saying, and basically like it was a hey and bye type situation. And I was like,
what you saying about a special relationship? I want to be clear on what you're saying.
Cool. So like I said, before, a lot of inconsistencies, and we just want transparency and a very thorough investigation, just like they would do for anyone else.
Mr. Crump, can you speak to what is the sort of game plan for the next few months to even 6 months? What is the ideal situation for how this plays out?
Certainly. Natasha, I did want to just briefly remark on your last question. We have an investigation team that are talking to dozens of witnesses now. So we are trying to dot every I and cross every T. And as we get those reports, we want to report to the family what people are saying in these interviews. So that's important. And I believe Katie is one who they are planning to talk to if they haven't already talked to her today. With that said, we are on a ferocious search for the truth. We plan on having, the independent autopsy preliminary findings to present, because we know when you deal with the state and the government, they can take for months before they release an autopsy. We've seen it in the past on other cases. We interviewed with you on, Natasha, where they took 6 months. They took a year just to come release the autopsy. We plan on trying to make sure we can retrieve these deleted messages. That's going to be really important. We know that other it can take for months before they release an autopsy. We've seen it in the past on other cases. We interviewed with you all, Natasha, where they took 6 months. They took a year just to come release the autopsy. We plan on trying to make sure we can retrieve these deleted messages. That's going to be really important. We know that others deleted their messages. If law enforcement wanted to convince us they were doing a thorough job, they would say, no, those messages, you all do activating your social media and whatever texts and snaps that happened on that July 4th weekend, those can be very relevant to why Nolan Wells ended up dead. So why aren't you all retrieving those text messages and those snaps? Because again, as Byron and Alan talked about with so much conviction, that would have been the level of scrutiny and zealousness had the roles been reversed. And so that's what we keep fighting on. But I do believe this, Natasha. Young people are talking. There were a lot of young people out there. Nobody believes that Nolan either fell off a boat or jumped in the water without people seeing it. That would make no sense. And if that is the case, then why didn't people try to help him? Or people didn't try to do anything? It's not adding up. It is not adding up.
One of the things that has really just confounded so many people is, again, this question of a cell phone being separated from a young person and other people possessing that cell phone, but not knowing where the young person is. Do we have any more insight into who passed the phone to who? What's the explanation for how the cell phone ended up in someone else's hands? Elmore or Christine, do you know?
So it's unclear, like I said, and Elmore has said, I just cannot fathom Nolan leaving his phone. Even his best friends are like, no, if Nolan was going to stay anywhere, if theoretically, because we know that's not Nolan's character, but theoretically speaking, if he were to, then what he would say is, hey man, give me my phone. Let me grab my phone or something. He would take his phone. So to sit there and say that, oh, he just left his phone, that's hard for me to believe. I don't see any teenager without their phone. I mean, I have to keep my phone on me, at all times. So no. But as far as like the retrieval, when the boys called, I was tracking, I was like, he's on land. Like, what do you mean? And they're like, no, his phone is not with him. And so, my friend Tashima, she went to go pick the phone up because we were trying to figure out who do we call to file this report with. As I'm being told by his friends, like, oh, don't worry, like, we're gonna find him, it's gonna be okay. Absolutely not. Don't ever. It's gonna be okay. Like, we're gonna find him, and this is how we found our child. So
it's a lot. As a parent, I again grieve with you and can only imagine how painful this has been. Elmore, I want to ask you for just the larger picture here. How did you all come to be in Mississippi? Are you a generational family that has lived there for a while? Did you move there? And what's your feelings about a lot of discussion, frankly, in the country about this being a sort of bringing up old pain? Mysterious cases of a young Black boy going missing. What are your thoughts?
Well, my family is originally from Mississippi. My uncles were, I guess you could say, the famous ones, the family out of Moss Point. They were like the 3 brothers that play in the NFL. So my family is originally from here. As far as the history of Mississippi, teaching education has changed. When I was in school, we really got into the history of Mississippi. And that's what me and Christine, we
short. Like when you discuss Black history, next to nothing.
And so that's why we constantly talk to our boys about things, about situations. I would give them scenarios about things that happened to me and just tell them, and just trying to prepare them. And I know that I was not going to be able to be there for them every day, and every minute. But if that situation was there to come toward their way, they would have some kind of idea of how to deal with it instead of just being blindsided about it. As far as that day goes, it hurts me because I wish I could have been there. But like I told in previous interviews, it was his last time to really have fun before he got to report back for camp. So we let him have fun.
We wanted him to have a good time, just blow off that last bit of steam so he could recenter himself and have he was gearing up for a great season.
Yes.
They had been working, every day he had been working, just practicing some stuff. Also hitting the gym. So he was having multiple workouts a day.
It's just another reason why when you come tell me that my son stayed on the island when he had so much in place, so much stuff he was getting ready to do, you can't sit there and say that to me and then think I'm going to just take that for face value.
Exactly.
You're talking to the wrong parent. You can't.
And again, I don't think, and I've said this in every interview, I would hope anyone, if their loved one, if this type of tragedy or if they, whatever, I would hope they would fight. I would hope they would fight like hell to find out what happened. And if something did happen, who did it? For justice purposes. Like, I don't get why a lot of people are so upset with us asking the questions, because God forbid, if you were in the situation, I would hope that, you would too. Like that would be my response to anyone who is out there questioning us. This is not about money, because I'll tell you right now, y'all can take the money, the gifts, everything that people have been so kind and given to us. You can take that all if you give us our baby back. Like, I don't care. Our goal, again, is we just want a thorough, honest, transparent investigation. And I don't think that is asking for much.
Mm-hmm. Christine, Christine, did you also grow up in Mississippi or in the South? It sounds like you did, because you talked about
I did. Yeah. I actually moved here on like physical characteristics of a person. And so when you look at me, I'm a Black woman. If you ask me, I'm a Black woman. I am. But yes, I've been here since I was young. And just learning the history, knowing the history. My grandmother, my family actually on my dad's side is from here. She had a white father, and her mother was mixed. So getting these teachings, and she grew up around that time of segregation. So getting these teachings, she would always tell us like, hey, this, and this. And so that just really stuck with me, because I knew when I got to a point where I was blessed with children, I would need to tell them about these things. They would need to be educated as well.
Absolutely. I ask about that because it seems that Nolan, you as parents provided the American dream for Nolan. I just want you to know that when we see the pictures and the videos of him, just the joy. He was living his best life. And that's only possible because of parents like you. So I just want you to know that.
Thank you.
Of course. Mr. Crump, I also want to take a moment to just have you directly explain to the public, which people have various levels of understanding, as we've seen. What is the role of a lawyer like you in this case? Mm-hmm. What do you do in this case? Because you're famous. You've been part of some of modern history. Attorney.
It is amazing the times we live in, Natasha, because 20 years ago, Black people would have no chance at justice. The local authorities would not charge anybody. Nothing would happen. And nobody got to bring civil actions for Black life in America. And it was this phenomenon that we have kind of created. I call it the legacy of Trayvon Martin, where we started talking about the value of Black life, where we started talking about the lived experiences of Black mothers and Black fathers when their children are taken from them in just unbelievable ways. And so our role is to come in first as a civil rights, civil trial lawyer. The Constitution says that under the 7th Amendment, if you feel that you have been wronged, if you have been grieved, then you have a right to not try to go fight the battles out in the streets, but to come in the court of law and say, based on the 7th Amendment, I have a right to civil justice. What is civil justice? It's any kind of justice that will not go up to the point where you can imprison somebody, arrest somebody, take their liberty. Only the government can do that. And for far too often in America, the government has failed us in equal justice under the law. But now, because after Trayvon, after Michael Bland, Sonia Massey, Tyree Nichols. I mean, those cases, we affirm that Black lives matter just like white lives matter. Black tears are just as painful as white tears, and Black pain hurts just as much as white pain. And so what we try to do is do everything that a private lawyer can do under the Constitution to get some measure of justice for good people like Christine and Elmore, some measure of accountability, some level of truth that has often evaded us in the past. And this phenomenon, understand it now, has only been around for like the last 20 years. You know, Natasha Goen, the young girl who the Asian woman shot in the head in the grocery store and they gave her probation, there was no civil action for her. You know, when you think about Emmett Till, I mean, lynched in Mississippi, there was no civil action for them. They didn't give Black people any kind of justice or compensation for their lives. So what we're trying to do is fight to say that Black lives matter. They're not, they don't just matter. For them, they didn't give Black people any kind of justice or compensation for their life. What we're trying to do is fight to say that Black lives matter. They don't just matter, but they are valuable too. That Nolan Wells was valuable to American society, not just to his family and to his community, but was of value to America. And I keep saying Byron Allen because we talk a lot, and I know he tries to use the grill to give us a voice. He tells me all the time, Attorney Crump, you should be asking for $1 billion because that's what they would ask for if it was their children. And he drills that into me. But Byron is right. There is no amount of value that you could give Christina Elmo or Natasha or Ben Crump for our children's lives. And that's how we have to look at it. So that's what we try to do. We understand we can't put nobody in jail. Only the prosecutor, only the elected government officials can do that. But I'd be damned if we're not going to fight to say that our people can get some measure of justice.
Yes. I have to ask Elmore and Christine, excuse me, if you could just take a moment to address the parents of children who may know what happened to Nolan. If you could talk to them directly, what would you say?
I would say that put yourself in our position. I mean, really, put yourself in our position. So we can look at the timestamps, but don't be scared to speak up, because I'm telling you, if the shoe was on the other foot and Nolan was there, or say something happened to someone else and Nolan was present, best believe Nolan would be like, well, hold on, let me check and see if maybe I captured anything, because that's just the type of person he was.
Yes. From a father standpoint, the same, Nolan would have wanted to help. Like my wife said, if the shoe was on the other foot, he would do anything he could to help. I said before, he was a people person. His aura would light up a room. So anything he could do to help someone in need, even if he didn't know them, and he had some kind of information that would help, he would help. So just like my wife said, put yourself in our shoes. You will want to know, no matter if you're Black, white, Asian, whatever,
purple, green.
you will want to know what happened to your child. So
Well, the power of the truth is that it stands forever. And so we are certainly praying that you all lifting note. Just again, we've seen so many pictures and video tributes of him, and he just seems so delightful. I'm mother to a son, so you know how we feel about our sons. What were some things that he used to either say around the house or do when he was
Oh my
doing all that
gosh.
brought you joy?
Always like this. Mom, hold on, hold your hands up. Let's take a pic. Or mom, let's make a video. Or, phone in his face while he's trying to sleep. That's why I say it's just so hard to believe he wouldn't have his phone, because his phone was always on him. He was just a ray of sunshine. And I've said it a couple of times. God took his time with that one. You will not find too many Nolan Wellses in this world. You will not find too many people with that amount of joy that they can give to others. He really is the light in darkness for others. And I don't think he realized that when he was here, because Nolan was just one of those people. He just wanted to give love. He wanted everyone to be happy. He wanted everyone to be included, regardless of your ethnicity, your socioeconomic background. Like that boy didn't care about that. He just wanted to enjoy life. And now that's gone. And we have to figure out, where do we go from here? How do we move on? Because, after his funeral, everyone's going to go back to their day-to-day life. They'll still remember him, right? But it's going to be us, his family, who have to figure out what life is from here. How do we move on? Because, after his funeral, everyone's going to go back to their day-to-day life. They'll still remember him, right? But it's going to be us, his family, who have to figure out what life is going to look like. I tell my patients all the time who lose family members, friends, what have you, is it's hard when you lose them, but it's that after. It's the after where you really have to sit with yourself and figure out, how do you continue to grieve in a positive way that's not destructive to your own personal health? And then the year of the first, as I have coined this little term, but the first year of holidays, birthdays, his birthday is next month.
Yes.
He was supposed to turn 19. And that year of the first it's so difficult, because it's a ball of emotions. I know Elmore has been through it with me, with my mother when she passed, and it's like your emotions are just everywhere, but you still, when you have, because we have other kids, we still have to be present, right? It's that delicate balance. How do that is so fresh.
Absolutely. What are you telling his?
Damn, Tanya, I wish you would just play for 2 minutes more. That's all that's left. That's it.
How are you loving on them through this time?
Just constantly talking to them, letting them know that our door is always open, hugging them more. I have a bunch of boys, so they be like, yeah, but it is what it is. When you get older, you're gonna hug your children, and hugging them more, telling them I love them.
Now, she mentioned, I will say this, y'all, and this is just me observing, right? This is not me judging, or this is not me, saying this is absolutely what it is. But what I will say is this: I talk to y'all all the time, right? I talk to y'all all the time about people that's in the medical field, right? And I'm gonna Google, I think, what she does. I told y'all people in the medical field a lot of times they become desensitized. Now, she mentioned clients and talking to clients' family when they lose their loved ones. Now, that gives me the impression she may be a nurse, or she may be somebody in the you know what? Let me Google it. I gotta go, but I'm finna Google it. And while we listen to the rest of this, but a lot of times people in the medical field, I told y'all, they become desensitized, and by that I mean, they grieve death and this and the third. They just have their way. Like these people in the medical field see so much death to where it becomes like something like regular or normal, or it's just different for them. I've seen it happen. But I'm gonna Google what she does. But we're gonna continue to listen. Let's it's only like a less than a minute left.
Like I said, keeping that communication open and let them know I'm not just a father. I'm a person you can come talk to as well. So, like I said, it's communication, keeping the door open, and just continue to pour love into them, my family, my wife. Just trying to take care of my family.
I know, Tanya.
And yourself at the same time, because you're just as important.
And take care of myself.
Well, I'm glad that God has put you two together to hold each other through this season. We will never forget Nolan Wells' name. We will continue to lift it up in the pursuit of justice, but also just in his memory. Mr. Crump, thank you so much for your time and for this interview. And thank you so much, Christine and Elmore.
Thank you, Natasha. We appreciate it.
All right, so that's it, y'all. That's gonna be it for today. Lord have mercy, it was a struggle, but we made it through. And I do apologize to anybody that's in here, new or old, about the choppiness of the. I don't think it's gonna give it to me, but the choppiness of the live stream. I do apologize. We got bad weather here where I am, and I think it may be affecting the internet. And not just the regular internet. It's like StreamYard requires so much to stream that a lot of times when the internet is not at 100%, it'll act up. But I do apologize for that, and I thank everybody that remained patient and stuck around in the live stream. Shout out to my moderators. Shout out to my true supporters. I appreciate it. If you're in here and you're not subscribed and you like the content, which is usually better. Hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you'll be notified each and every time I go live. Make sure you double tap the screen to like this live. Thank you, Tanya. And so yeah, we'll be back tomorrow, y'all. Tomorrow's gonna be kind of, let me see, today Tuesday. Actually, for the rest of the week, it's gonna be kind of hectic. But like I said, I'm gonna figure it out, and I know y'all will be here to support. So yeah, until tomorrow. Now tomorrow we're gonna do Roland Martin got like a 3-part series. One of them is an interview with the parents, and then the other two other people speaking. I want to get into that. Also, we're going to get into the video I told y'all about where the content creator speaks about this mother. Now, I'm real hesitant. I'm very hesitant about reacting to this video because what she says in this video and what she put out as a fact, and she showed something like a receipt I haven't heard or seen anywhere. So I'm just hesitant, but I'll think on it, overnight and see if I'm going to react to it. But yeah, we still got a lot to catch up on. We still got a lot to do. It's a lot, but I'm here for it. And I know y'all are too. I appreciate it. So make sure y'all double tap the screen when you have done so. We're going to end it here. I'll see my sippers on the other side. And until then, listen, y'all have a blessed, beautiful rest of your night. Not night, day. I apologize. And I'll see y'all back here tomorrow morning. Thank y'all so much for supporting, all right? And until next time, y'all stay safe, blessed, and never stressed. And until next time, truth seekers stand up, and we out.